some sort of armaments.
Oh, really? So the armaments are staying.
There was a screenshot of it somebody put in my chat.
Okay.
There's a bunch of mods that weren't shown today that were on that
yeah.
that GIF image they showed.
Yeah, we got a lot of Arc Buddy today, not a lot of mod looks, dude.
Yeah. So I think we'll still see those. They just didn't display them. But it would also be interesting if they left it behind and that was your use for year 1 armor. As armaments. But if they're gonna take armaments away, they better damn well give us some shit to give us ammo, because armaments is really the only thing we have right now besides places where you can put banners, which is basically
the only consistency we have.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of my concerns. Something I did notice too, where the super energy gains like pump action or remote connection, those were typically on helmets for previous armor 2.0, but now I'm seeing them on the class items.
Yeah.
So what does that mean if you're running a pre-armor 2.0 helmet and an armor 2.0 bond? Will you now get like double pump action or some crazy stuff like that? So I'm hoping that all gets hashed out later.
Wait, can you just because my dumb brain didn't pick that up super quick, can you just kind of give me the short version of that again, dude? I swear I was like, I paid attention to the whole thing and then my dumb brain just shut down at the very end. So what you're saying basically is like you want to be able to take gear that you already have and apply some kind of use to them into armor 2.0?
Correct. So like for instance, you say you have a helmet that has remote connection on it and you're just having fun running around with your Revoke or Beloved or whatever, and now armor 2.0 rolls around and you're in PvP doing that same thing, but you now have it also on your bond. Are you double dipping on super mods?
Oh, yeah. I mean that.
So I hope that gets looked at closely.
Yeah. Dude, my whole thing with armor 2.0, and I mean we'll touch up on this later, is just the randomness of armor 2.0. Because I think one thing that we all can agree on from Destiny 1 players and people who came into Destiny 2 is that's kind of like the end game right now is to make armor, it's like to get enhanced perks on everything that you want, right? Like that is the ultimate end game armor stuff. So by them just kind of letting us have enhanced perks, maybe by dismantling, maybe by picking it up from vendors, whatever, and then just like stacking them together the way that we want, I feel like it takes away randomness from it. I don't know. Maybe somebody else wants to jump in on that one.
I mean, I pretty much agree with you. I don't think we've learned all that there is to learn about the armor quite yet. So
we don't know enough about armor 2.0. We don't know as much as people think. Like we don't actually know how they're going to go ahead and continue to make us invest. Because one of my biggest worries right now is the fact that after we have our perfect gear in this season, what reason do we have to go get more gear next season?
They leave it behind somehow, like they've done before.
That's it.
Yeah, so that's actually,
people complain about that one a lot. They don't want to just have their gear made immediately obsolete because it makes them feel like they just don't have to play it all, or like have no reason to play.
Right, and that's something that I guess we can also talk about in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, leaving stuff behind and bringing stuff into the future when it comes to armor, it's gonna be something that is kind of teeters a line, because I feel like some people really liked the grind for their stuff. Like I really liked getting, you know, enhanced grenade launcher loader with like grenade launcher scavenger, weird flex. But like it was pretty fun to like eventually get that, and like it feels rewarding shooting my grenade launcher and all that kind of stuff, right? But like I don't know, in the future, if that's just something that I can get pretty easily by going to the gunsmith, then I really don't know if that's gonna, like you said, I don't know how that's gonna impact the future of it, but it feels like it's kind of opening up armor to like casual players, like the armor grind for mods and stuff to casual players. I'm also being told that Gunsmith sells 2 a day. Wait, what? Gunsmith will sell 2 mods a day, I guess, that you can pick up?
Yeah. And it's going to come from packages. So I wonder what the drop rate's going to be from packages, because there's people with like 50,000 weapon parts. Literally going to be able to cash in just day one. You're going to have every single mod.
Yeah.
When they said that the mods were going to be one and done unlocks, that scared me immediately. I was hoping they wouldn't be.
That is always my concern.
That is terrifying.
I don't want year one all over again where I do public events for a few hours and I have everything. And now I'm done playing.
I better make them rare or something. They should have just kept it
low if they're one and dones.
They should have kept it like they have mods now, really, or like armaments or something where you can only get it from Pinnacle activities and that's it, not gunsmith. Because I'll tell you right now, dude, I got like 35,000 weapon parts that I'm just immediately going to.
Like right there, because then you can be raid ready. You can have all the stuff that you want going into all the stuff that you think that you're gonna need into a raid right there without any kind of a grind. I think though what their new grind is gonna be is getting those getting armor that's gonna come with stat rolls all the way, because there's 5 different trees of stat rolls, right?
There's 6.
There's 6. So there's 6 trees of stat rolls. So maybe the new grind is to get as much stuff kind of compacted together with the highest possible stuff there, and they kind of wanted to eliminate the extra grind of then getting random rolls on top of that. I don't know. I think that might have been one of their addresses there, but I still think that mods are ultimately what made the armor grind really fun. Do we have anything else to add on that one?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just hoping that maybe more will unfold on the armor, possibly. I don't know, maybe exclusive raid mods that come with the raid armor or something like D1 stuff where you do more damage to Fallen or whatever. Something along those lines.
Oh, dude, didn't those come on weapons as well?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was only the weapons in
King's
Destiny
Fall
1.
and Wrath.
Yeah, I remember having a... What was that? There was a scout rifle in D1. I guess that's not important, but yeah, it came with do extra damage to taken enemies, and I was like, dude, this is my shit.
That was all the King's Fall guns had that built in.
Dude.
All the Wrath guns had built-in extra fallen damage. Bog guns had Oracle Disruptor. I think there was Hive Disruptor on Crota guns, which was why White Nail was broken for 6 months.
Yep, dude.
Yeah, I missed stuff coming from the raid that helped you with the raid. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm gonna add later on, but I want to talk about raid pinnacles later, and if that idea sounds like a good one or not.
All right.
Okay, so going off of that, so tier 12 builds are coming back to the game, kind of. They're gonna be percentages, I think, right? That's what I saw was some kind of percentage and some kind of stacking everything together. I mean, are we officially I think it's pretty objectively clear that we all kind of like the idea of tier 12 builds and whatever else, and just getting as high as possible to slow down our cooldowns and all that, or to speed them up or whatever. But I guess, does anybody have anything they want to say about tier 12 builds? Something that wasn't in Destiny 1 with one of those extremely nice builds that you would like to see, some kind of perks that reward you for being there other than faster ability regen?
Well,
there's something on there that showed the going from one tier, it was a 5-minute 43-second cooldown on super, and then the next tier it was a 5-minute cooldown. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Wait, what was it?
I saw one of them.
It was a 43-second jump from tier to tier for super.
Oh,
that was only from that tier though. The tiers are different.
Yeah, it was just really interesting though. To think from tier 6 to tier 5 or tier 5 to tier 4 was a huge jump like that, and I was like, oh my god, how low are they gonna go? I mean, I'm sure it'll get lower and lower, but
I think D1 with max in was about 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I feel like it's going to come down to is what is it, 10 for each? Whatever the optimal thing is, I feel like it's going to come down to a lot of intellect, a lot of discipline, and a ton of recovery more than anything else.
That's how it always has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a ton of punch builds out there.
Well, here's
for melee energy anyway.
Here's an idea that I kind of floated around.
Recover.
like if you go for a strength build, right? Something that would be pretty cool would be speed up when you could do the finishing move, like how much health the enemy has when you could just hit the finishing move. To the point where if you're like maxed out on a strength build, you could just be like going into strikes and just punching every single thrall in the face of the animation like you're in Doom or something. Right? Like that would be something that would reward you for being like max strength build. And you could do something like that for grenades. I don't know what you could do, but have it so like, hey, you're max build, now you just have 3 grenades. Like, have fun.
Yeah.
Dude, I hope there's a drop kick finishing move.
Dude, oh my god.
Jump way up in the air, both feet, character completely sideways. Just drop kick right
the old Bam Margera kick to somebody's head.
There's gotta be a drop kick.
I just want to
RKO.
suplex every enemy like I'm Goldberg.
Yeah.
Somebody said potential 3-minute super. Was there a screenshot for a 3-minute super? Well, wait.
No. That's what max. That's what tier 5 was in D1.
Oh, gotcha.
Around 3 minutes 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Crucible is going to become mayhem. Yeah, Crucible is going to be weird.
It
dude.
already is.
It's already a fucking
5
nightmare.
super mods right now. How long does it take?
I'm pretty sure faster than tier 5 in D1.
Anybody in chat have that answer? Like, if you were to throw on 5 super mods, like,
I'm pretty sure it's under 3 minutes.
Dude, it's stupid fast. It's super mods are something that, like, oh boy.
I was hoping they
addressing,
wouldn't give us mods to increase those abilities and it all go into getting the roll on armor drops.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, well, isn't that kind of what they're doing? Like, with the stats, they're putting
mods,
it on armor?
Like, the general slot you have on your armor still has...
Oh, I got you.
And, like, discipline and strength there as mods. So you can beef it up by another 10.
Got you.
I was hoping that would, like, be torn out of the mod and be put on the base roll.
I think that's a good idea, too. Okay, 5 super mods equals 3 minute 32 seconds, so just a little bit slower than what tier 5 builds were.
Yeah, slightly slow. I mean, the 320 in D1
That's really fucking quick, yeah.
I could be wrong with that.
What is the default? Like 5 minutes?
I think so.
It used to be 8 way back. I think it's.
Oh my god,
like
dude!
6 or something now. I'm not sure.
Wait, it was 8 at Destiny 2's launch.
D2 launch. It was 8 at base.
Double primaries, baby.
Complete shit for energy kills.
Ew, dude.
Yeah,
Total
do you remember that update that like
really
they were like now Graviton Lance is actually it blows people's heads up and like what was it like Skyburner's Oath shoots grenades.
Oh,
like
God.
Somebody said what is somebody? Oh, somebody said that Fuzzy Toy is saying that Menagerie will be the best activity now for Armor 2.0. Will Menagerie carry over though, dude? Like I don't know if it will.
They said all old armor sets are being 2.0. So like all the old planetary sets, if you go get a new legendary armor drop, it will be Armor 2.0. Like I'm pretty sure you will not have access to the old armor system at all unless you already had the armor.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, so I
use all your materials or just farm gear.
Yep, pretty much. Damn, dude. Okay. So one of the things that somebody asked me, and one thing that I think is pretty concerning, is that it seems like from what they showed, and we don't know completely for sure, but it seems like from what they showed, there are mods that only work for arc resistance gear, solar resistance gear, and void resistance gear. Now,
motherfuckers don't like this. Yeah.
Now, just let me say something first of all. When in the game has arc, solar, void resistance ever been a thing that you can actually feel? Like I Audio, maybe you know more on that one because I think you were the one who told me something about that. Like you actually can tell a difference in this thing, but I was like, dude, why do we even have that? Like, just ditch that.
Actually, no. I think you may have been talking with Finest about it, but from my perception, I don't feel any different if I'm at 1 or if I'm at 5 masterwork. Like it feels the same, like when an ad's shredding me.
Yeah, because some activities it feels like they took the sliders and just like all the way up, right? Like,
but from what some people are saying though, they notice the difference in say like somebody has like a Tartarus gaze with bobbing, and they headshot you while you're in your super, if you have the arc resistance at 5, you'll live.
Okay.
That's because you get 5% damage resistance in your super per masterwork armor piece.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the only time where I could see that you would notice it.
That's not specifically because it's arc, though. That is just inherent to all supers when you have masterwork armor on.
Got you. Okay. Somebody was saying it was useful in D1 Nightfalls, but with the burns, but not in D. I mean,
yeah, D1 chest pieces had different damage resistances for the element you could swap around.
Mm-hmm.
That they added that in year 2.
Got you. I mean, dude, I just think it's a little. I think it's a little dumb that, like, you know, you have to have, like, there is no randomness to it. It's just these things work with this kind of resistance, so everybody's gonna be wearing the exact, like, I mean, like I said, it doesn't really matter with the elemental thing, but like, why even have that? You know?
That's a really bad system.
I think that's a really bad system. That's gonna be a pain.
Ultimately, that's really bad, and I hope people talk about it enough beforehand, and they end up changing it.
Yep. So
does
you
that
got
mean
that
certain loaders are tied to certain burns? That would be stupid.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what that means.
That's a really bad system.
Yeah.
So like, I think arc was in the video they showed arc, if I'm not mistaken, it was like enhanced hand cannon loader works with arc, and then like with solar it was and just it just didn't look good, man. It just looked like a complete waste of like a system.
So basically, you don't give a shit about the burn. You're just going to be farming a piece of gear that is compatible with what you want. Or it's what people are going to do.
Yeah, hopefully, like compatible with what you want to do and with the stats you want. And
so you have to look at what you want.
Have like weapon combos that just won't work together because of the resistances and the slotting.
Yeah.
Like, where did I see it? Let me find this post. I saw before that someone had already listed out what we saw. Here it is.
By the way, Mercier, the Frenchie, is telling me that you need to have at least 3 masterwork pieces of armor to survive a box breathing Tatara's gaze headshot while in super. That's the only case where having a damage resistance thing like that actually matters indeed. So like the most specific encounter ever. Yeah. Where do you put that, Flesh?
I'm gonna drop it in a second, but it's gonna go in the voice we're in right now.
Gotcha.
But like I was saying, like if you wanted to use a pulse rifle and a sniper rifle, and you wanted to put like a mod on one piece of armor that fits for both of those, you can't do that because one is on arc and the other's on void. It's like they're kind of praising it as, hey, you can finally build exactly how you want to build. But having the mod split up by what damage resistance is on the armor is the complete opposite of that. They're restricting you and saying, okay, you can build how you want as long as we approve of it.
Yeah, it's just a bad system from the ground up, and you know, like some people are saying, you know, don't jump on it too quick. They might show more, but I feel like that was something really important that they showed today. They showed that whole system of like, only certain things are going to work with certain elements. And
TK outright said that Arc has synergy with shotgun. For what reason would Arc have synergy with shotgun if it wasn't that you can't get shotgun mods outside of Arc armor?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a bad system. I'd like to hear from anybody in maybe in the call or maybe in chat if you guys want to rebuttal that one, because I don't see why they thought that was what was your reason that you said, Flesh, why they maybe thought it was? Is that like you could fully flesh out a full armor set of just having a variety of stuff? But like if anybody has any kind of rebuttal to it as to like why it's actually a good thing that we can't put certain things with certain elements and all that kind of stuff.
What exactly were you asking me? Because I got a text message when I was reading it.
Oh, you're good. So basically, like I don't know. I wanted to know anybody in chats or anybody in the call right now, like if you have a rebuttal as to like, you know, see, like Hellraiser is saying, pace it out. Saying it's bad system from the ground up is a stupid way of thinking. I mean, but dude, like I just don't see. I just don't see a positive from that system.
The only thing I can think of, which is the scary thing that we were talking about earlier, is if these mods are easy to come by. Like if I go to Banshee and I just day one roll out 30k weaponsmith mods, and then I get the 3 enhanced hand cannon loaders I want for each burn. Because if it's that easy, then I'm just gonna sit in front of Banshee all day.
That's that wasn't
pretty much.
That wasn't what we
Sitting in
meant.
front of Banshee's counter.
But that is
Do you think different mods will be tied to different burns, or like Arc is only
yeah,
tied
that's pretty much what they were saying. Like TK outright said that shotguns have synergy with Arc, and it just so happens that shotgun perks were on the Arc armor pieces he was modding. So
so he's saying that shotgun cannot have void or.
I mean, we don't know if that's the case yet, but that's how we can interpret it so far.
Yeah.
So
right.
like I'm saying,
if you don't have the void pump action, you're not going to get the void pump action.
Yeah.
For that armor that you're wearing. Like if you're wearing solar armor, you can't use it.
Basically, I'm saying it's inherently a bad thing that you're like kind of promoting Armor 2.0 as a build the way you want to build system. But if you restrict us to saying like you need solar resistance armor to have, say, auto rifle perks, but you don't use like a special weapon with that, so you can't actually build how you want to. Like if you wanted to use an AR and a sniper, you can't put two perks that actually benefit both an AR and a sniper because the AR is on solar, but the sniper's on void.
Yeah, I mean, it's just let's see. I got Zombie saying the only thing I can imagine is that there might be some really powerful weapon combos coming up, and this is their way of combating it and tuning it down slightly. But I mean,
I don't think hurting the entire armor system to prevent one combo is a good way to go about.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
You should just do something with that combo instead of murdering the whole armor system.
Bro, at least the tower's gonna be popping next DLC. Everybody's gonna be hitting the gunsmith.
He's gonna cash in,
dude. Let's hope for those Wednesday packages again, man. Okay, so let's see. That system just it's kind of weird, but I guess going into that to add to more to armaments are. I mean, glad you said that. Somebody sent you a screenshot that armaments are still in the game. I wanted to just talk about this as a case of not whether or not they're in the game, but whether or not we'd like to see something changed about them or just something different instead of armaments. Like, for example, do you think that armaments should be a staple, that everybody should be able to have armaments access all the time, throw a nade, get heavy ammo? Or do you think that like heavy ammo synths should come back? Or do you think something else should be added? What do you guys?
You can't have all of them at once.
That
would be busted.
Well, yeah,
I would
definitely
say the best way they could go about it is putting back in like higher chance to get heavy ammo from majors, but taking away armaments and not putting synths in. I think that's the best way we can go about it. Because that is the most consistent way without forcing us to have a mod slotted in our armor to give us consistency in the ammo economy.
Like at launch of D2, yellow bar enemies dropped heavy all the time, and it was amazing because you could count on it.
Yeah, that was very consistent. I just feel like majors in general should have a higher chance to drop ammo than minors.
And when they took that out of the game, it sucked.
Yeah, you definitely noticed it immediately.
Using armaments, like if you didn't have armaments, then you didn't have heavy ammo because there was no consistency.
Yeah.
So I guess for those who are listening, that I mean, I'm assuming a lot of the people in here are going to be hardcore D2 players, but in case you don't know, armaments basically drop from the raids, like the year 2 raids, and you can get Taken, you can get Hive, and you can get Fallen armaments. You kill one of those enemies with a grenade and it gives you heavy ammo, and then you can keep doing that with grenades and get heavy ammo. It became mainly a problem in Gambit, and I mean Gambit has its own problems in many ways, but it also became like a quick solution to an ultimately bigger problem with just heavy ammo economy, which was like, hey, what if we just let them throw a grenade and get a random drop from the raids? That'll keep them playing the raids so they can keep getting good mods, and it works well together, but it feels like a short-term solution to a bigger kind of heavy ammo economy, which I think they solved it the first when D2 launched, which is like orange bars drop heavy ammo pretty consistently.
That was very good. That was a very good ammo system back then.
And that just kind of like stems from a thing that I notice in Destiny a lot. This isn't me complaining, this is me just kind of observing that I always see that it feels like they take a step forward and they think it's like some kind of good progression, but it's actually a step back. Like it feels like, okay, we need to take this system that was already pretty good and make it even better, but by them doing that, it actually makes it worse.
Yeah, they've done that a couple times.
They've done that, like, dude, like the transition, I guess, from D1 to D2 with a lot of systems like that. But I mean, I respect them for like trying something new. That's totally a respectable thing. But there's some things that I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
well, like you said, trying things isn't a bad thing, but when you do it a bunch of things at once, that's when people start to feel uncomfortable.
I've been preaching that type of thing about the progression for a while.
Yeah,
but, that's not today's topic. So
yeah, definitely. You like armaments for this is Baneslay. He likes armaments for the reason that there's actually like an endgame mod to grind and farm for. If you want to do high tier endgame activities, armaments would help, but not necessary. And that's a good point. But I feel like once again, it just feels like a short term solution to something that's a much bigger thing.
Take away armaments and add more majors. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, when they simultaneously took away heavy dropping from majors, they also took majors out of activities.
Yeah.
So it's like a double fuck.
I'm not sure why they decided to do that one.
Yeah.
There was a couple things where majors just completely vanished. Like arms dealer suddenly had way less majors.
Dude, yeah, in that entrance they just were all gone. You're like, okay.
Oh yeah.
So what if we went back to that though? Wouldn't that be like too much heavy at this point? Because stuff was way harder to kill back then.
I mean, it wouldn't be
work for your heavy. And now
I wouldn't say it'd be guaranteed
twice, and then you get a free brick.
I wouldn't say it'd be guaranteed drops like it used to be, or not really guaranteed, because I don't know whether or not it was bugged or if it wasn't just 100%. But if they were to just make it so that it's a higher chance to get the ammo instead of guaranteed, but then give us more majors, I think it'd be fine.
Well, I feel like that at that point you're just better off with a finder, right? Like
you would use
finder.
You would use a finder, but like say if you killed a major and you got your natural drop, finder could still give you an extra drop.
And that's actually something I wanted to talk about too, and I really liked it. This is something I absolutely loved, was they're making finders much better. Did you guys catch that? Like finders are going to be awesome.
Finders have been tuned to work more reliably as well as for specific weapons. So
I love that, dude.
I think they're a crock of shit right now.
Yeah, right now it's for real. Like right now, it's a placebo.
It's bad right now, but dude, I'm excited for them to actually work. And they said that there's gonna be like a visual thing to them as well. Like, hey,
there's like little. If you ever played Borderlands, there's like loot beams that comes out of the gear in that game. That's kind of what this is going on.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that one a lot. And then something else that I really, really liked, once again, dude, and just from this Armor 2.0 thing, by far one of the things that I fucking loved was just, dude, I'm so excited for finishing moves. I know we've already talked about them, but I love finishing moves. I wanted them. They're so good. They're so clean. Excited for that.
Yeah, it'll be good when I can suplex an ogre.
Dude, I'm just saying, roundhouse kicking, the drop kick's good, the roundhouse kick.
They should honestly make one where you just jump around on a dude's head and just teabag him to death.
Like, I want the people's elbow.
God, I wish Destiny was
rated M.
He whips out a nutsack and just teabags him into the ground. All right, we're stretching.
You want it to be like Mortal Kombat bone crushing moves,
dude? That'd be sick. Crazy.
One of the other things that I really, really liked was that your build can help other people with the ammo. Did you guys catch, like, when they were talking about that, they were like, so, I forgot what the guy who was playing the hunter, his build benefited somebody else because he had an ammo friendly build. They didn't go too far into the details of it, but I guess his build was set up so other people in his team could find ammo faster as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was super cool.
They said that. I don't know what the visual indicator will be for everybody else. Like, will it be that glowing brick on the ground? But yeah, they definitely said that other people can wear finders, and then it benefits the entire fire team.
Does it stack?
See, that's where it gets crazy. Like, I'm now running, like, we're all just running alternate weapon finders, and now we just have infinite ammo. Like, that just gets crazy.
Yeah,
if they actually work, then it'll be useful, you know.
Yeah, and dude, I feel like, oh man, it's gonna be very hard line. There's gonna be a lot of like things that'll change over time, but right out the gate, dude, there's gonna be so many ways. If they let things stack like that, there's gonna be so many ways to just absolutely pummel what you're fighting against. Another thing that I really liked, obviously we've known about this one for a while, the appearance tab, dude. I can look fucking sexy while I play the game.
I don't care at all about my
Bro,
looks.
I'm on your page. I am on your page, Flesh. Like, for me, as long as I perform well, like, I could just be bounding boxes. I don't
Destiny,
care.
baby.
I actually don't care.
Destiny, baby. Gotta look good. Gotta look good as that grandma hat right there.
I could actually look like a cardboard fucking warrior. I'd be fine with it. I don't care.
Can we preview? I guess the only way to preview the whole shader is to go into the shader and then preview it. I just wish there was an easier way to do that.
Like shaders, like have the shaders like a whole list to the side and just be like, I want to check this out, and then if I want to buy it, I can just.
I hate how you have to go find the shader. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Like, and I wish you could apply shaders to everything too.
Oh, that'd be
like,
cool.
I think like what you're talking about is like if you went to collections, right clicked on a shader, it pulled up your character window, and then you could look at the individual pieces with that shader, just to find detail. At least that's what I'm assuming you're talking about.
Yeah. It just makes it difficult to like go through. I don't know. I feel like they could just do a better job of being able to preview shaders.
I always thought that a mesh of the D1 and D2 system would be good, where you can set it so that whatever armor you put on automatically shades to that piece of gear. But you could also individually shade pieces if you wanted to.
But
it should just be an apply all
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Apply all options, good.
Like
dude.
You would it'd be my idea would be it's literally just D1 where you swap onto a shader, and if you put on a piece of armor, it just auto applies.
Dude, one thing that was it Wolfie is saying is he's like, I hope the Ghost and Sparrow don't make it on PlayStation so fucking hard to load my menu. It's already hard enough.
Oh, dude, that's
like
true.
In the background.
6 minutes.
Yeah.
That's actually true. That's adding a lot of stuff to render.
Yeah.
Because
they should be taking away stuff to render.
Hey man, we're all here for the Destiny.
Loadouts in D1 were directly related to how much stuff you had like in your inventory and in your.
I don't think that's true.
That's definitely true.
I
100%. Scarjo proved it
plenty of times. Plenty of times.
Proved it in his solo. What was it? Axis runs. He completely cleared all of his stuff, all of his inventory, and all of his character loadout, and and he was able to go into his menu much faster.
The reason I don't think that's true is because you could drag a weapon over at any time, so the game already has it loaded.
So wait, did he test it on PC or was it on console?
No, this is
Destiny 1.
Oh, that was Destiny 1. Okay, well, I mean, dude, I just think that it's gonna be hilarious if people are like, the number one thing on Reddit's gonna be like, yo, this Sparrow and Ghost thing is ruining the game right now. It's like PS4 crashed because Sparrow and Ghost couldn't load.
I think D2 inventory loads on console are worse than D1 inventory loads were on Xbox 360.
I think it's just because the size of the game is so massive as it is. There's so and it looks so pretty, and like there's so much stuff to load in. It feels like
it's a 2017 game released on 2010 hardware. It's not going to run well.
Yeah, pretty much. That's in some ways what holds some areas back from looking prettier, is that it has to run on that. Okay. What's the other thing? They said that, like, so one of the things they said they're doing is they're adjusting the bottom tree hunter so that the super is actually going to be better. So we're actually going to have Quiver have some better perks to it. They didn't go into much detail as what is going to be better with it, but they said that essentially your class will also work, like whatever class you are, and I guess whatever subclass tree that you go with will become much better with the build itself, which I think just goes into like what, you know, the armor 2.0 is just going to be in general, like intellect, discipline, strength, recovery, mobility, resilience, all that stuff. But
real quick on the topic of
yeah,
quiver,
go ahead.
Delete it. It's trash. You can't make it good. Delete it.
You can make it fun in Crucible. That's the only.
You can't make it good.
You can't make it good, but you can make it fun. And I think like just that variety wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, it said something about a damage buff, but like the only time you got to demo it is shooting a red bar. It's like, all right.
At the very least,
yeah, that's true.
at the very least, they could give it another benefit outside of just more damage for successive shots, and let me turn it off. Let me turn off the part of it that is multiple quivers.
Yeah, that's why I never use it.
I don't even have that node unlocked. My original hunter on Xbox One, when we moved over to D2, like before PC, I unlocked it on there, immediately regretted it, and never made a Titan on console because of that. I had my original hunter, the one I played, and a warlock.
Damn, dude, bro, fucking quiver gamers out here are really mad right now. They're like, dude,
delete your hunter and remake it. Quiver sucks.
I fucked up, dude. I accidentally unlocked it.
Yeah, I saw all of Be Bold like doing Argos kill spamming quivers. I was like, you guys just wasted 6 hunters.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think it'd be really like we said earlier, I think it'd be just so cool to see like complete classes benefit from just having your builds all nice and specced out. If you're a strength build, you can go punch yellow bars early, finishing move them with half health or something. Somebody was saying you should be able to finishing move raid bosses. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Just like
that'd be amazing.
RKO Argos into Oblivion, like just yeah, I don't know,
that'd be
dude.
Amazing, dude.
Final stand.
The thing I'm mostly looking forward to with this armor system is when they expand it in the future to outside of just ability regen stats into like more grenade damage as a stat as well you can get on your armor without having to like have a buff or a debuff active on an enemy. Like I'm actually maxing out a grenade build, giving you a lot of grenades and giving you more grenade damage.
That would be so cool. Like I mean, once again, you know, that could create a snowball effect, which like we'll get into the Luke Smith thing about snowballing and all that kind of stuff. But like, dude, I mean, that could create a snowball effect, but wouldn't that just be so much fun at the same time, though? If like that could be the end game, is maxing out like damage on and like ammo and all that kind of stuff on your.
I feel like as long as more MMO stats like that are lacking, the game's not gonna feel like a build truly matters.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough to build into. Like, if you want to be a grenade-based character, there's not enough stats that focus on your grenade.
Oh, I mean, I'm like, I don't play MMOs really. Like, Destiny was my first like experience, and Destiny is not an MMO, pretty much, right? Like, it's like if it is, it's gonna be the lightest MMO of all time, and you know, I don't want it to lose its identity to become a complete MMO unless that's what they're going for, which I supported because it's a fun ass game, but.
The core gameplay is what makes Destiny what it is.
Oh, definitely. If it wasn't for how good it feels to shoot, I would not be playing Destiny.
I would have stopped playing a long time ago. There are plenty like points in time in the game where I was just very disappointed and was like, if this game didn't feel so damn good to play, I would have left a long time ago.
Yeah, dude, like I don't know, Borderlands 2 is so much fun, but I can't get down with the gunplay of Borderlands as much as Destiny, and that's why I literally still play this game, even though there's like not a ton left.
You should roll with me on it. So you crazy stuff.
Okay, so anybody want to add anything to the Armor 2.0 discussion that I haven't covered? Did I miss something like gigantic that they talked about?
I feel like we've covered pretty much everything until they give us more information, really.
Do we talk about new mats like Ascendant Shards and Enchantment Prisms?
Yeah, what do we think about them adding more materials that are not strange coins, dude? I literally have a strange coin on here.
Rewording it again, because the prism thing used to be called something else than what it's called now. What the fuck is it called now?
It was Enhancement Prisms is what they're calling it.
Yeah,
and then there's Ascendant Shards.
Cores, and then what was it before?
Was there something
Masterwork,
before?
Masterwork
Cores?
Yeah, they might just be changing the name again. I don't know why.
Like I saw that, but then at the end, did you see that there was a different material? There was
there was like
shards?
there was a new map because like when you fully upgrade the armor, you'll get +2 to all your stats.
Yeah.
Because I think it was the last 3 upgrade levels. So the last 2 were, or the last 3 and 2 were enhancement thingies, and then the last one was an ascendant shard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they said that ascendant shards were earned by doing stuff, and I mean just like everything else, but stuff. One thing that we can all agree, I didn't put this on the list, but I'm thinking about it now. Dude, glass needles, where are they at? Like if we're gonna be able to pull, if we're gonna be able to pull if we're gonna be able to pull exotics from collections, shouldn't we have some kind of material that we can then re-roll the stats on those exotics? Like, because armor's gonna be, you choose what mods you get on it, maybe, and even exotics you get to choose, but wouldn't glass needles kind of add something else to it, like some kind of nice stuff, like just adding like like rolling for the discipline chess piece or whatever.
Well, here's the thing about that though, is if glass needles come back, Zer originally sold them, did he not?
Yes.
Yeah. Wouldn't that defeat the purpose of Zer bringing random rolls?
No, that would just help it.
I think
Still want random rolls in D1.
To some degree,
It
would,
depends on how expensive they are, right? Like, because then you have a decision to make.
Zer needs more shit, man. I never pay attention to Zer ever.
Because, dude, exotics, let's be real, they're not that rare. He shouldn't only bring 3 at this point. Like, exotics drop out the ass. They really do.
Yep.
They're not really
Only
exotic,
from your milestones, but there's 472 of those, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Zer, like, they tried something though where he had like missions and stuff where you found out about the drifters lore, and like that was cool, except it gave you once again just another milestone that was actually harder than doing like a single game of Gambit, which would have given you better stuff in general. Although I felt like I got pretty high exotic rolls or pretty high exotic chance out of that. That could just be a placebo though.
Yeah, dude, I don't even know when Zer's around anymore.
Dude, somebody tells me
when somebody says it like he has something that's god rolled, that's it.
Yep, Zer has one-eyed mask, enhanced hand cannon targeting. Okay, go.
Everybody ignores the fact that it also had pump action.
True.
See, that was the highlight point for me. I was like, this is
and hey, you know what? Are we gonna ignore that Karnstein's had enhanced perks on him too? Exactly. We all hate on. Hey, you know what? Granger just hit the world record with some Karnsteins on audio. I don't want to hear it.
That was Winter's Guile.
That was Winter's Guile. Yeah.
Yep. Get roasted.
Karnstein still suck. Okay.
Absolutely unbelievable.
So finally.
By the way, I bought One-Eyed Mask and then immediately dismissed it, the one from Zer.
Oh,
because fuck that helmet, dude.
By the way, I didn't get on the game and buy One-Eyed Mask because I don't care.
Fuck that helmet. Still.
Helmet's good. You guys should watch how to One-Eyed Mask and learn how to use it properly.
It's bullshit.
Use it properly.
It should probably.
What do you mean?
No, there's it has a real high ceiling to it.
Skill gap, dude.
Yeah, skill gap is it's pretty far out.
Yeah.
Okay, so this doesn't relate to Armor 2.0. This is just something that I've been meaning to talk about, and something that I think, dude, what do you guys think of a raid pinnacle?
A raid pinnacle?
Yeah, we have a Vanguard pinnacle, we have Crucible pinnacle, we have a Gambit pinnacle. What do you think of an endgame raid pinnacle? What do you think that would require you to do? And you could say, Teraba. You could say like fucking
Touch of Malice. First thing that comes to mind.
A Touch of Malice type quest, yeah.
I was gonna say, do you mean kind of like like the what was the Leviathan one?
Acrius. Yeah, Acrius was the closest. That's a good point.
I'm gonna be honest. I personally don't like the raid exotic being tied to a quest.
Well, it would be different. There would still be a raid exotic.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying.
But then a pinnacle weapon that requires you to do something.
Yeah, those as examples though. I was just saying.
Yeah.
If you would tie like those type of quests to a raid like legendary pinnacle weapon, that'd be cool.
See, I'd much rather have things that have special secret things like Whisper Mission, 0 Hour, because those things are, I mean, essentially Pinnacle PvE weapons, but they already have special secret missions, and I'd rather have stuff like that any day than something that's tied to a raid besides the raid.
Well, the raid Pinnacle doesn't have to be an exotic, right? The raid Pinnacle can be a legendary.
Yeah, true.
I prefer it to be a legendary.
I would prefer it to be a legendary as well.
Because it's not exotic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true.
I mean, just something that would benefit you in that activity, because, I mean, dude, Mountaintop, that's supposed to, I mean, it's insane in PvP, I won't lie, but, like, let's be real, we use it in PvE way more. Okay, Yote is saying a Pinnacle, not exactly the raid exotic, would bring more meaning to play raids over and over for more than a farm and raid report and just getting, like, mods. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you'd have to be kind of careful on what the raid Pinnacle would require, because a lot of people who play Destiny, you'd be surprised at how many people have never done a raid. I would actually say, what would you guess would be the number? I mean, I don't have the numbers, but I would say a good amount of people have never played a raid who have played Destiny before. So,
I'm pretty sure they base their stats off of the amount of people that have like ever opened up the game. So
okay, well then that's going to be totally skewed.
If you go by those stats, it's probably not. It's probably not even close to 5%.
Yeah.
No, probably like 2% at most.
Right, and they definitely want to focus on like the end game stuff. But dude, I'm just saying, man, if I feel like a raid Pinnacle would come down to something like it would be the first thing that would be non-RNG from a raid. It would be something you could chase after. It wouldn't. I would say something like. But then you'd have to kind of design encounters around getting Pinnacle stuff done, right? Because if you were to be like, yo, go in and fucking 3-man Argos or something, right? Then you'd be like, okay, well now we have to design Argos with intent for this raid exotic or raid Pinnacle, not exotic. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I think raid Pinnacles is something that we should see because everything else has a Pinnacle.
I think that needs time because right now they're already like clearly uninspired with the quest steps to get these Pinnacles. The only one that really felt truly inspired was the Luna's Howl.
The Luna's Howl quest, yeah, that was
the
cool.
rest of the Pinnacles just look like they're a big bounty because really that's what they are.
That's pretty much, dude. Wendigo.
Yeah,
because they're not exactly quests, are they? That's actually a really good point. Like they're
like just a big bounty.
Like Recluse
they're already not inspired.
Recluse is just get 2100 in comp.
Just win.
Like, just win. Mountaintops win and get multi kills.
Get frustrated with grenade launchers.
Yeah, get frustrated, and then Hush is just do something, literally throw in Gambit to get this bow.
Yeah. They already have so much to do involving the Pinnacles that they stopped making a reason to go to Legend for them.
Dude, I didn't think Mountaintop was that bad, dude. My shit was easy.
His glitched, dude.
Dude, I don't know what happened. My triumph, like, fuck.
Okay, let's see. How about getting a special weapon from a dungeon type activity? Oh, so you're saying like a Shattered Throne exclusive? I mean, that's the ship, right? That would be like just for the. It's a cosmetic.
Exclusive? You mean Wishender?
True, dude, and that has a quest. Kind of. It's secretive, but
it had its own mission.
It had its own mission, which was actually really unique. You got to go to a place in the Tangled Shore that you had never seen before. That was cool.
Never got reused.
That was really, really cool. Yeah, that area has never been reused.
Yeah, I forgot about that bow.
That's one thing that bugs me about this game, man, is they have so many cool areas that just never get any use. Never.
Well, yeah, if they do get used, people are going to bitch that they're reusing content. You can't win.
True.
Well, it doesn't need to be like endgame content, but maybe it's something that's useful. I don't know.
No.
Like it's definitely something hard to balance, but I don't think there should be 90% of the areas in the game that go and there's fucking dust rolling or tumbleweeds rolling through there 24 hours a day.
I'm on your side. I'm fine with like fighting like a different activity in the same area. I'm completely cool with it. Like I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But you already know people complain on Reddit all the time. Oh my god, they're so lazy. They're reusing the same area. All you're doing is running through the Black Garden backwards. Okay, and
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's why like it felt weird going to the same area for Truth is the same area that I went to for Thorn. Like, you know, like when you go to that fallen transponder and then you go up the hill.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It
Oh,
felt weird
you
going
mean
to the exact area.
Well, that was Lumina, right? Not Truth.
Or Lumina, sorry.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I mean, but like what was cool about that and why I actually liked that decision is that Lumina and Thorn are like the same thing. One of them is just a more crispy version of the other one, I guess. I don't know, but
one was in a box.
One was buried in the dirt. One of them was in a box. Nice, dude. But you think they should implement more mini games? And oh well, I mean that's completely off topic though. I don't know, dude. I just think having more Pinnacle kind of actual quests, I think that's a really good way to put it, is instead of just a big bounty, make it feel like a quest. Because I think the best quest for a weapon that we got was really Touch of Malice. For those who don't remember, after you beat the raid, King's Fall, you got a quest. So that was like the first time they took away the random drop from the raid, the random exotic, and instead they turned it into a full ass quest where then you had to go do a bunch of steps. You do what kind of mission? There was like that mission at the end where you went to the place where you started the Taken King DLC.
Yeah, I don't remember the Touch of Malice quest.
It's been a long time, dude. But like you get Phobos. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah. So like. I mean, but it actually had a full quest. I'm not saying take the exotic that is random. Like, I want Anarchy to stay random, even though, like, you know, some people hate that it's random. Some people hate that 1K is random. That's what keeps people playing the raids, though, is that they are random.
That's totally fine. It's this. I mean, I'm somebody who hates pseudo RNG. I don't like RNG that's forgiving, where like, oh, if you don't get it by try 10, you'll get the gun guaranteed. I think that's lame. That's shitty.
I don't know. I totally see what you're saying.
That's the same thing that I feel, just because I want an exotic to feel special when I get it. Because like now that I have it, I don't like the fact that, I think we talked about this before, like where your reaction to when somebody puts down a well is, if they don't have lunafactions, like you look at them like, why don't you have lunafactions? Whereas I feel like you should have that opposite effect, where somebody puts it down. It should be very rare that a lot of people have that. Like exotics should be rare in the game. Like everybody shouldn't have them.
Well, yeah. At this point, they're all over the place,
dude.
So.
But like, I mean, we speak for a very, very small amount of people, and I totally see what you guys are saying. But dude, do you remember all the complaints of like, Forsaken exotics are too rare, Forsaken exotics are too rare, and I'm just sitting there like, no, this is fun. Like I don't know, I like that they're that they're pretty rare.
It was more about the duplicates.
That's true. The duplicates was annoying.
The complaint was not that the exotics were too rare. Was that when you got one, it was just something you already had every single time.
And a lot of the time, it was year one. Yeah, the year one.
What it did is it took away all excitement.
Yep.
Whenever you saw an exotic, you were just like, I don't even care if that disappears.
Like, dude, can't wait to get sweet business again.
We got really, really spoiled by. Well, a lot of people got really, really spoiled by year 1 D2, where exotics would actually just fall out of public event chests like every 5 tries.
They're not exotic at all.
Yeah. People don't remember the days when there was actually like hype ass videos of people getting an exotic that were missing, and it was so exciting.
The DPJ top 5 reactions, bro.
Oh man! That is a throwback, dude.
Those do not exist anymore. It's not exciting.
Like, that's like the feeling that I want to have when I get this rare item that's supposed to be rare.
Yeah.
Zombie just said sweet business was my first Forsaken
it now, because they drop so much and we're so used to being handed stuff now. Almost, I don't know if handed's a good word for it, but like,
I would say like easily
like being handed exotics. Because I don't know if you guys notice it, but every time a DLC comes out, I feel like the exotic drop rate doubles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. They become big red Easter eggs in the woods.
Yeah.
Yep. My collections instantly gets filled within the first week. Like I hit max again every time that we come out with something new, because I feel like, just what you were saying, I feel like the exotic drop rate is purposely increased.
You don't think that's because you're more focused on doing stuff that gives you high rewards?
I play the game the
Like that?
same. Like
Yeah.
like as far as like same amount of time, same type of activities. Like I'm not doing anything different as far as experiencing the content. It's just the drop rate to me feels increased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really feels like it because as soon as Season of Opulence came out, I had all 3 new exotics on the first day.
Yep. I got
think it was the first
Khepri's
raid
and I got
Khepri's Sting was my first drop from the whole entire thing. We had to write onto that spreadsheet, followed it. First thing that dropped, Khepri's Sting. 2 days later, got the Peregrines. A week later, Astrocyte Burst. Like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Damn.
I got Peregrines right like after we finished the raid, and I had Astrocyte and Khepri's before we went in.
And I think that just kind of expands on the idea of like, bro, like we have all these powerful things to do, right? And like you get your exotics so quick, it's like, what do you even do after that with some of the powerful activities? I know, like I said, for everybody who's listening, like we are people who play the game a lot more than the average player, and I get that, like, hey, you know, I don't get to play as many hours as you fucking nerds. Like, please, like, just be more understanding about it. But at the same time, man, if they want to make it, if this is for them, if they want to make something that's so in depth, I feel like they need to just tune it back just a little bit on the drops, and just, I mean, and like Cloud was saying, just it was more the fact that it was dupes. Dupes are annoying.
I mean, either way, even if they play less, we get the same amount of drops anyway.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
If they did everything in a week and we did everything in a week, we would have the same amount of loot.
I mean, I guess that's a good lead into the powerfuls, huh?
Sweat, you want to start us off with that one?
With the good old 6,554,012 powerful drops we get each week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just the fact that it's been compiling literally since Forsaken, season after season, stuff just keeps adding
Since
up.
Forsaken.
It like, I don't know. Obviously, there's an excessive amount of stuff, so every time a new DLC comes out, everybody's hitting the max cap within a week.
They've been digging that hole deeper and deeper since the game came out. They put themselves in that, like they literally put the shovel in the ground when D2 came out, and then every time they release a DLC, they scoop another shovel load out.
Yeah.
Because every DLC, there's more powerful drops, and none of them get retired. Because you want people to do new stuff, but they invented this system to try and make old stuff still feel relevant.
So
like
go ahead.
It should feel relevant to a degree, but like they need to learn to put their foot down instead of just saying, "Oh, you can just do this," and it's literally almost the same, basically power drop wise.
So
and I think that's kind of why like Luke Smith wrote it the way that he wrote it. It's like we could explore things like changing the value of powerful sources to create new seasonal efficiencies, or retire some powerful sources as we bring new sources into the game.
Yeah.
It doesn't help they invented this system so that people could get max light without doing endgame activities, despite the fact they don't need max light if they don't do the endgame activities.
Oh, do we go into that, dude? Oh,
I did. I still think you should be forced to do Pinnacle, PvE, endgame activities.
I think if you want,
max power.
I think so too. If you
top,
like
I don't think
if Trials was still around, I think the only 3 sources of max light should have been the Raid, Trials, and debatably Iron Banner.
Dungeons.
Anything that actually
dungeons as well.
Yeah, if dungeons were designed to be an endgame activity, I would agree with that.
You can literally just get on and just run patrols and reach max power.
Yeah.
And I disagree with that.
If the content doesn't need it, you shouldn't be able to get it from it.
Well, dude, just to go a little side note on that as well. We noticed that if you could get Unbroken Title by doing almost nothing in comp if you just were patient.
You were cutting out. What's going on?
It was just saying the Unbroken Title.
It's like it goes off of the same thing. Yeah.
It's the only title that you could actually obtain by never doing a single match. Yeah. But that's its own problem.
Sorry, my garage is annoying. So I guess addressing the ultimate, like the power drops fucking everywhere, all this stuff. What, Flesh, this is a question for you specifically. What would you say about like, okay, what do you say is their solution as far as powerful things being in the game, like having like not powerful weapons or anything like that, like powerful activities, things that reward you for light increases, because right now it's like, you know, old activities are +1s and all this kind of stuff, right? But what would you do instead of that, but still under the same, I guess under the same rooftop of leveling up right now? What would you have done differently for like the Forsaken stuff? Like, for example, I know this is a really long question, but like right now we have powerful drops everywhere and they all feel like you can just get max level, just it'll take a little bit longer doing certain things. So what would you have changed, or what would you change right now under the system?
Are you asking like, do I have to keep this system?
You have to keep the system of, you know, everything in the new season will reward you pretty well, but all the old activities would have to do something else. Like if you went into Last Wish, you didn't get any powerful drops. What would you change to keep players excited about that activity? Why do they go back, other than, you know, obviously the drops in the raid, but why do they go back to doing Dreaming City activities at all? Because you don't want content to be completely dead, right?
Obviously you don't want content to be completely dead, but I think that just lies in the loot that activity gives you.
100%.
Like if you don't have anything left to gain from doing that activity, you shouldn't feel the need to have to go do that activity unless you wanted to. Like if I wanted every single gun in my ideal god roll from Dreaming City, I should have to do Dreaming City until I have all that stuff. If there's nothing you want from the activity, I don't believe you should feel the need to go do it unless you wanted to. Like the incentive to do stuff for me should be the loot that it gives me, or if I genuinely enjoy doing it.
Not the power.
Yeah, not the power. I feel like there's a huge incentive right now where like they incentivize you to do stuff through gaining light, but we end up in the same situation after we hit max light. Why do we go back and do that activity?
Exactly.
Dude, it needs to be the loot that draws you there, not increasing a number that isn't going to do anything for you in that activity.
Okay.
That's a good way to put it.
Does anybody else like have just something that they've kind of cooked up in their mind, like under the current system right now? What would you go back and change about, I guess, Forsaken drops?
Well, the one thing that came to mind is like, so right now, what if you go do Last Wish, maybe you get one powerful drop. I'm not saying it's going to be a +5 or a +8, but maybe you get like a +3 from like one encounter, whether it be the last one or whatever. Just some sort of benefit if you were needing the light gain or whatever. But again, it definitely should be focused on like the weapons and stuff. People always went back to like Vogue for Vision of Confluence, Fatebringer all the time.
Right, but this would be more to do like, because right now, right, you can go into Menagerie and you can get a full set of Reverie Dawn if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, you could do that. So I guess for me, if I don't need Cursebreaker, but I just want to hop in to do Dreaming City activities, if I were to not be rewarded with anything powerful, what do I like? What would you have? What would you, as the game designer, what would you do there? What system would you add to it instead? Just, yeah, because the only thing that I can think of, bro, is just like maybe incentivize enhancement cores to do those activities, and maybe incentivize some kind of new material that you may need.
I mean, they've already made materials very accessible through multiple different ways at this point. Like if you really, really want enhancement cores, if you get on, play even an hour a day, you could get 500 in a month, no problem.
True.
Just finishing your Plan XP weekly on each character gives you what, 10, 7 or 10, one of them.
Yeah,
and you can sit there and farm them from Spider on every character every week.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've told people, because I do the boring ritual of going to Banshee every day. I do all 3 of those every day on each of my characters.
Dude, Audio's about to get that fat armor 2.0. Holy shit.
I mean, I just do that every day, and it takes like, what, 20 minutes, because it's always going to be 2 weapons and a burn, and it's probably some weapons that you're already using.
Yeah.
Well, you can get the 2 a day from Spider too if you have 30 shards sitting around.
Yep.
That's what I used to do when I had literally none every day.
I did too. I'd buy 2 every day.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, and every once in a while I still go back and do it, and I need to be better about doing that because it's actually gonna matter. Also, question from Clyde. He says, "Hey Evan, why does Glad look so fucking sexy in that hat today?"
I think you mean idiot fisherman.
Idiot fisherman. Why do you?
Yeah, I find it really hard to believe that that came from Clyde's mouth.
I think you need glasses.
I think he said something like, "Why do you look so dumb?"
The opposite of that.
It was. Why do you look so dumb?
A fucking dog shit, ugly piece of shit. But
wow.
Okay, so that was actually a really good thing about just like the power stuff or powerful drops in general.
Power creep is a natural issue in an expanding game, and it always just becomes the seesaw of being able to fulfill the power fantasy while not negating like the player's experience, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess one more thing to add is that the 50 light gain in between in between seasons, while adding all those extra powerful drops on each new DLC release, it's way too little. So if they increase that gap, maybe I don't know by how much, but more than 50 each season would be nice. That way it takes at least a little bit longer to hit max.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll change the gap for this one coming up.
Well, we did see today there was like 810 power or whatever. People in chat were saying something about 900. I don't really know.
About 900 power being our max.
Yeah, I mean, we'll 100%. I'm pretty sure find out tomorrow because Luke's next article is supposed to be focused towards the power grind and stuff like that, I think. So I'm excited to read that.
I mean, I'm excited to learn more about artifacts, man. I know that's completely off topic, but I'm excited to learn about that because from all the things that I like, my chat just sent me a screenshot of how like artifacts work, but that's completely off topic. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of just like of how high we are power wise? Like, is it kind of like weird being like soon to be 800, 900 potentially? Like, is it like, what are the fucking numbers gonna be? Are we gonna be 10,000? Like, what's going on here?
Dude, that's when we hit 1,000. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah, we're gonna be
the large number itself is interesting, but I think one of the topic, or at least I know like one of the topics that he pulled up was the under the looking ahead to looking ahead, where they were looking at basically like how damage numbers work today, as well as damage stacking rules combined with the powerful sources and powerful engrams within the world itself. And hopefully we get like a balanced system that doesn't make us like just keep grinding for power just senselessly. Like I want the two to line up because today, like going into max light into Crown of Sorrows and being 20 light under max light feels the same.
Totally agree. My garage is just being really loud right now, so this is the benefit of living right above your garage, dude.
So I definitely want to see something where like having like a 5 light difference does matter.
That's actually things like that existing is why I always like the year one visual representation of our light more, because having that 1 light difference actually did feel a lot like more difficult, because it really doesn't feel like what happened. No, D1 year one, like actual year one.
Yeah,
basically the in-betweens right now, they used to not matter, but now they do. But because there are so many in-betweens right now, when you finally get on level with an enemy, you don't really feel like you leveled up because it feels very similar to the last level because of the really small, slowly climbing increments that you're making.
Well, like, isn't it, what is the max power that you're actually able to cap your damage at the new boss at what's his name, the stupid Galron? Yeah, like what is stupid. Like cute Galron, what is the max power that you can actually do max damage to? Is it 750 or isn't it like isn't it like 745 or something? That's like the max power that you can be to actually do the max amount of damage.
we're not high enough to be able to do what is technically max.
Right, but like a 7. Okay, so 740 is what we're like. So you only have to be 740 to do like what is right now the max amount to him.
Yeah, because I'm sure if you're 750, it'll do the same damage.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just kind of just to add on. I think it's weird that you don't really get benefited for being powerful that much. There's only 2 activities in the game where I actually feel like, okay, I'm powerful and I'm actually gonna do powerful shit, and that is Iron Banner, which I fucking hate Iron Banner for many other reasons, but also like Heroic Menagerie, which I did once, or I did for my title, and then I'm out. Like, I know they're gonna change Menagerie, but I don't know, dude.
I don't understand Heroic Menagerie. The sword and
it's just a sword, and you can get a ship, and get some title stuff.
They dropped the ball on Heroic Menagerie. There absolutely should have been more benefits outside of, hey, you get an extra powerful drop, I guess, and a mod. I guess.
Like,
yeah.
What could they have implemented, or?
Well, they made things hard, but for what gain? Like, so I could do some backflips on my hunter.
I honestly wish they would have did it kind of like what you do on the Leviathan after each encounter, the chest. I think that would have made Heroic worth it.
Wait, like after each encounter of Heroic,
yeah, like every time you
get a
finish
chest?
like an encounter, like you get a chest. So like you finish lighting the lamps, you get a chest. You go to the gauntlet, you get a chest. You do crystals, you get a chest.
Dude, that'd be sick. Or just some way to benefit people for playing it. And I know that's something that they are addressing that. I saw that on Luke's. They
haven't told us specifics yet, though.
Right, but we know that one's coming, so that's a good thing.
More looted the end for doing a Heroic Menagerie.
Because Menagerie
is significantly harder.
And it has a high potential to be played very heavily, especially if they keep the elements being attached to mods, because Menagerie allows you to select the element of the gear. So that'll be
you can select your masterwork,
that'll be 100% the most played activity if they decide to keep the elements thing. So
yeah, and I mean, like, Heroic Menagerie, you actually have to go in there with a team. You can't just matchmake out of the menu, which, like, right now, I guess, what is the point of even having it in a team? Is it because it's just harder? Nah, I mean, yeah, they have Extinguish on for the rate or for the whole entire thing, but I mean, it's not that bad. Like, I mean, the final boss doing it flawless is hard.
Also under light, so like also, it's way easier to die and get thrown in the orbit.
That would be a disaster if they match made something with Extinguish like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But my point there isn't that you're being match made and like, oh, that shouldn't be a thing. My point is, what is the difference that is holding them back from doing that? It's just that it's harder, but there's no like benefits that you have to go in there with a team and find a team, because the whole thing with raids is like, yo, I got to go find somebody on LFG to help me beat this because I really, really want something from this. And like Heroic Menagerie, just now,
that doesn't exist.
I want a sword. Dude.
Not everybody is me who wants a surrounded Quickfang. That's.
Oh my god! Can't you just get Striker's Surehand with that? And that's like you're chilling.
Quickfang is a different style of sword. It's a faster attack.
Oh, got you. Well, now they're guaranteed swords on your first of the week, so.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, then I have to play, and I really don't feel like doing that.
Good point.
Has a point.
Good point. Menagerie lets you get elements. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean, Menagerie is something that they are fixing, so like it's hard to really talk about that when they are definitely addressing it, and hopefully Heroic is like actually feels heroic. I mean, my thing that I always wanted with Heroic, and this is me completely being irrational and like fantasizing a little too much, but like actually having a new encounter at some point would have been really cool for Heroic. I don't know, or like some kind of secret thing involved.
Yeah, I think like that 5,000 seconds they give us at the end should be used for something.
You mean farming the same chest over and over?
Nah.
Yep.
That too.
Exploit or not, that just felt like that whole thing with the chest really just felt like it was something that belonged.
Dude, we could all agree that chest farm was just great. I think everybody can agree that was just fun.
It really, really felt like it belonged. Because if you knew what you were doing, you could squeak out so many more chests than somebody else who didn't.
I don't understand. Like, the chest farm has been a thing since literally Destiny 1 launched. That has never went away.
Not even just House of Wolves. House of Wolves is what really popularized it, but it's literally been there since the
You're
first
talking about the keys.
day.
Yeah, the keys.
Yeah, with farming the keys.
Do one public event, get that key in that perfect spot, and then just go.
Oh, you fucking did, man.
Just
Like...
bang on that chest.
But now it's not intended. They get rid of it. And now nobody wants to play it anymore. Like,
what was? I mean, do we have numbers? Does anybody have any numbers to back up like just the player-based drop? Sweat, can you get a little bit closer to your mic? People keep telling me like Sweat's coming a little quiet, and I have you at 200.
Hey.
Nice. Okay, so I guess on the topic of powerful sources, guys, this is a question. Oh shit. This is a question for let's see, who have we not directly asked question to? This is a question for audio. What do you think about retiring powerful sources?
I think we literally just talked about that.
Did we completely?
Yeah.
Fuck me, dude.
And I literally just talked exactly about that.
Stream. I mean, no. That's not what I don't mean. Powerful sources, powerful activity. I mean, powerful sources. What do you think of them getting rid of and vaulting certain weapons? Did we talk about that? I don't remember talking about that.
Oh, so you mean like capping a weapon? You mean capping a weapon's potential? So like,
I mean taking
tractor cannon will never get above 750.
Yes, exactly. I mean like Fatebringer year 1 to year 2 gone. Like that kind of stuff. What do we think about them completely obliterating some weapons just to fix a problem that would ultimately snowball in the future?
I don't really think that's a good thing for exotics, but as far as legendary items go, I'm completely fine with throwing out gear and getting brand new stuff.
Yep.
In fact, I'm definitely in favor of leaving stuff behind every single major DLC.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, because I look at guns like the Midnight Coup, arguably today, is probably the longest living gun in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, it is.
That is without question.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think that, I guess let's talk about a couple of weapons specifically, ones that are going to be hot topics. They're going to bring them up. They're either going to get nerfed or they're just going to be vaulted, and that is 2 weapons in particular. This, Mountaintop, Recluse. Should these 2 be vaulted completely, or should these 2, how would you change these 2 if you were to change them?
They should definitely be left behind. You don't change that meta, it's going to get stale and boring.
Yep.
Grenade launcher meta is going to be fun, but like...
I went into a raid where everybody had exactly the same loadout. It was identical.
Bro, it's been around for 6 months. Like,
all right, so
it's been around for a while.
I'm gonna be real. I'm not really the guy who typically will say to nerf a pinnacle weapon, but in Recluse's case, it definitely should not be doing so much extra body shot damage after 1 kill.
Cool perk idea, but it just like it's too good compared to other like even SMGs.
Well, here's the thing about it. So Recluse is just its body shot damage increase is ridiculous. You get 50% more on head and 150% more on body. It makes you a completely lazy aimer. So like if they brought that down, I'd be fine with it. And Mountaintop, I think this is just something for GLs in general. They used to have really bad ammo reserves, and I think they need to find the middle ground because they went from like an 8 max to a 23 max.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, just the fact that Recluse, like, you get the perk proc, boom, it's fucking go time. Like, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I tell people all the time, I'm like, dude, if
it
there's
procs with any gun getting a kill, by the way,
which is just like already. I mean, it completely makes like the fact they made Terra after Recluse is kind of questionable, but like it's one of those things where it's just like, dude, Recluse, all you have to do is just get a kill with literally any of your weapons, and it's go time. And in Crucible, it's like, I got a snipe, time to pull out Recluse and just shred a whole team. Like, I love it. It's so much fun, but there needs to be something done with. So, Glad, what would you do to change Recluse if you were told that you could not vault it, but you could change it? How would you change it?
I mean, there's a couple things you could do. You could make it so that the perk Master of Arms has to fully run out and it doesn't just reproc every single kill and then it has some sort of cooldown on it. You'd make it so that it works like a stacking damage perk, sort of like Rampage essentially, where not just one kill brings it to full potential. You can make it where only a headshot kill from that exact weapon procs the perk, so it requires you to, be a little bit more aimy with it. There's a bunch of things that you could do to tone it down, or you could simply just reduce the fucking damage that it does.
Yeah,
I would reduce the damage for
yeah,
sure.
which would be the
150% body shot damage. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's
There's
a
bunch
lot.
of things that you could do to make it feel special still, but not make it to just totally,
Right.
I think you should flip what Master of Arms does with Ravenous Beasts, and then Terraba would be like it'd be a fair trade. Like Terraba would actually be an exotic.
So you're just saying flip the two?
Exotics?
I think
if Recluse was exotic and Terraba was legendary?
Whoa, that's a deep thinky there.
Honestly, I think the Terraba perk it's really good. Really, the problem with Terraba and why it looks like it's so bad is because you can't use other guns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You literally but like
you have to have that gun out. You cannot put it away.
Right, and I like the idea. I think
somebody in chat mentioned like if you pull out your ghost while Ravenous Beast is proc, you lose the perk.
Dude, you fucking blink and it's gone.
You can't put it away. Like if
not Destiny blink
considered in your hand, the perk is reset. It's gone, and that's the worst part of the gun.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can all agree that like Recluse it's fun, and I tell people all the time, man, like enjoy the meta while it's here because like we know it's not gonna be here permanently, but like, dude, seriously, get a Recluse, have some fun with it while it's here. As far as Mountaintop goes, though, guys, what do we think with Mountaintop? Like, do we think that Mountaintop should always be the way that it is right now, or do we think it should be vaulted completely? What do we want to do about Mountaintop? Because Recluse seems like
spike nades. That's
spike nades nerf.
I don't spike nades isn't the problem in my opinion. See, obviously you have two different sources of damage when it comes to grenade launchers. You have the impact and the blast radius, and spike grenades only affects one of those sources. Say both of those are 50-50 each. Spike grenade is going to buff one of those sources by 50%. You end up at like overall like a 25% damage increase instead of what looks like a 50.
So you would just nerf Mountaintop then?
No. I wouldn't just nerf Mountaintop. I don't think it's a Mountaintop specific issue. Obviously, Mountaintop does more damage per shot than any other single tube grenade launcher. But like I said earlier, I think it's an ammo capacity issue across grenade launchers as a whole.
Well, that's definitely a big issue, but like in terms of damage per second versus long term, spike nades seems to be the big issue with that, especially with Swarm. That combo.
Well, isn't it?
Spike nades. And
you gotta remember.
Well, if you cut down on the ammo, see, like right now, obviously the game has an identity crisis between DPS weapons and sustained damage weapons.
Yeah.
If you cut down on the ammo of the DPS weapons, you now have to be more conscious with your ammo because no matter what, a full capacity swarm is going to kill Galron before you're out of ammo.
That's true.
Yeah. And Mountaintop is also just heavily abused with Lunas and stuff. That's another thing that makes it ridiculous.
That was going to be what I was going to say, is a lot of people in chat are saying that spike nades aren't the problem. It's the fact that you don't have to reload. That's the problem.
Yeah, you can literally just spam Mountaintop. And with Lunas, the fire rate is actually really good with that gun.
Well, I guess I should take back what I said. I don't think spike nades are the entire problem, but it definitely adds to the problem.
Dude, because I don't think Mountaintop will ever not be a viable option just because you can literally... It has no drop-off. It has just no drop-off. So you could use that at pretty much in any loadout, and it's going to be solid. I mean, there might be some that comes along that's better, but I feel like Mountaintop to me has more of a chance of getting a vault, and Recluse has more of a chance of just getting changed. I love Mountaintop. And yeah, like you said, like, dude, Lunas and just Well of Radiance and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Sweat.
Wait, what did you say, Sweat? Sorry.
I was asking if they've ever vaulted a weapon before.
Oh,
only
yeah.
moving between DLCs in year one.
Yep.
D1.
Dude, it was like everything year one.
After
D1.
they introduced Infusion, nothing has been left behind, and it actually makes me sad overall.
Yeah. I mean, they've always kept true with the fact that they said exotics will never be rendered useless, but I definitely think they should be leaving legendaries behind at some point. Again, going back to Midnight Coup, literally since the game's launch, people are still using it. So
using new stuff should be encouraged. Like it's at some point when do you say, all right, how am I gonna make a gun better than this?
And like, then what's the point of the new content if this stuff isn't better? Exactly.
Right.
Fuck Midnight Coup, dude.
I think
we're
leaving guns behind.
We're a spare rations podcast, dude.
I think leaving guns behind is a totally acceptable solution because you can, all right. So if you think in this way, when you think about leaving stuff behind and you know you're going to leave something behind, you can make a gun as crazy as you want, knowing that it's not going to be an issue in the future because it's not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah, you can literally, at that point, you're just hitting delete on it and you're like, all right, let me start over. Like, this is, like, it's the extreme way to do it, but it's a way that you can literally solve the problem right there. There is no in between.
Leave it at old content light levels and it's still useful and stuff before the new stuff. Like, you can still go back and experience the gun. You can make weapons as crazy as you want and not have to worry about rebalancing around them later or making something that's stronger.
So if you want to go shit on old bosses with Mountaintop, you still can. But
exactly, leaving guns behind is like, it's a good thing, cool. But I can understand why you don't like it.
Because you already know if nothing's done to Mountaintop, people are bringing it into the next raid, no question.
So, oh, definitely, dude. And same with Recluse, man. Oh my god.
Recluse is a little sketchier because it's close range.
Recluse is a weapon that I feel like more than anything just needs a slight change to it, and it's going to become like pretty good, but not every single scenario good. And it's something that I figured they would have changed it by now. Somebody's saying, Oral B is saying this whole argument is why Destiny should implement seasonal gear, a la Diablo. Otherwise, too much power creeps. I don't know about that, dude. I don't think Destiny's trying to be Diablo though.
Destiny should be its own game and just, I don't know. It should learn from the history of other games, but not try to be those games.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so too. It needs its own identity, and that's something that we've talked about already. Is like, we don't want it to lose its identity by doing stuff too extreme. I do think that vaulting certain things, in my personal opinion, can be a good thing if done correctly, but it is a little scary because I know people do really like the the legendaries that they feel like they've worked for, especially with Mountaintop. I know they're nerfing the quest, but how hard that was, except for Glad. Everybody else had to work for it because his glitched. But like, I mean, dude, it's one of those things where I feel like vaulting can have its benefits. Audio, do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I was just gonna use the old adage, burn the ships. Which I don't know if you're a history buff at all, but
somewhat. I like history.
Yeah, but basically, like when Hernan Cortez landed in Veracruz, like the crew and anybody else who was part of that voyage wanted to sort of fall back on like old habits and then go back home, and to prevent that from happening and being able to further conquest, like they literally burn the ships. There is no going back.
That's a good analogy. I like that.
And then the pirates
I think oh, there you go.
And then Johnny Depp appeared.
Well, Cortez was in the story of the ghost.
I think so, right? Yeah,
he definitely was.
Yeah,
Barbosa tells the story. He's like, Cortez.
Nice.
But yeah, it's same concept. Like, I think we should get to that point of when it comes out, like, just burn the ships, don't look back.
Yearly legendary weapon lock to that year cap.
So you're saying you want every single year there to be some kind of legendary weapon that just gets
just like vaults, all legendary weapons from this year cannot pass that year's light.
Just like what they did with Fatebringer and Destiny 1.
So that is kind of going to what Oral B was saying, which is like, you know, kind of like a Diablo thing where it's like, yo, these seasons we're gonna allow this shit to roll, but then we're gonna have new stuff the next season.
All right, I didn't totally understand what he meant.
Yeah, he was talking more for gear, but But yeah,
I liked that they did that with D1 year one, and
yeah, it was
obviously
cool.
every D1 expansion like that weapon was just, it wouldn't go above where it was at. And if it was a year one gun, that was just it. It's year one. It's gone. It's there.
One of the things that I absolutely loved about just like the way that Luke Smith said, he said this multiple times, but one of the things that I absolutely love about what he says is just the fact that we want people to have experiences and to have timepieces of experience. Something can't be amazing forever or like broken forever, but we want to give people experiences. I know this was about the Lord of Wolves and we all wanted that to like just go away for a while. But like, dude, I feel like the same thing applies for what we're saying, which is like, have some time of us absolutely enjoying a meta, enjoying an experience, and then we can get rid of something, because then it's just gonna get stale, like you guys were saying.
Just have fun with the shenanigans while you can.
Yep. So one of the things that Luke Smith said, and this is, I guess, something that's going to be a little bit kind of split the room on maybe, but the annual pass, he said, was very, very hard on the team as far as deadlines, as far as working their asses off, but like people were stressing, and they said they want to cut down on that. Should we be okay? Like, I mean, I don't want to sound like first world problems here, but should we be happier with them being very transparent that there's a problem there? Do we want something like, are we okay with them basically shortening content in order for, I guess, them to have, like, it sounds like such a morbid question, right? Like, should we be okay with them having to, like, you know, work less hours for us to enjoy stuff, right? Like, it sounds such like a
if they're not bleeding from the eyes,
man,
we don't want it.
They need to be working fucking harder.
I'm okay with the transparency. Like,
I do like the transparency.
Like, they throw out, like,
I like it too.
They care about their team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. What Okalavo is saying, which is you'd rather have less but better quality content over more, but not like more quality over quantity, and that is important. But I guess in a game like this where they're trying to make it a repeat cycle of people enjoying, how do you keep on getting people new stuff? Because this was the first year that, guys, I'm gonna say this is the first year where there was something new almost every single week. And it felt great. But for them, I mean,
you continue.
It was great to have new stuff to look forward to. It wasn't great in the sense that it wasn't always good content, and it felt like they kind of held back. Like Arc Week was kind of an interesting, it was just an update, right? But like, yeah, I mean, this was the first year where we had new content almost every single week. Would we prefer kind of the drop a lot of stuff, or maybe just drop less stuff, or do we want to have some cool stuff like every single week to look forward to? I guess, would you be okay with that trade-off?
I prefer traditional DLCs.
Yeah, like a lot in one place, throw it down.
Yeah, I'm a fan of like planned releases. Like, I can kind of like the old roadmap. Like, I can go look at that and be like, okay, I can expect to see new things in like 6 weeks or whatever.
The way the annual pass felt this year was like you ordered a steak dinner from like Charlie's Steakhouse or something, but they didn't give you the steak, the potatoes, and the veggies all at the same time. Instead, they cut up your steak and gave you portions of it week by week.
That's a good analogy. Go ahead. Sorry.
Nah, it's just I don't like being told how to play the content, and a lot of people like. It's a good feeling to be overwhelmed.
Exactly.
That's a good feeling. And throughout this entire year, although, we always had new stuff to look forward to, if we were able to play the content at our own pace, and, you know, we never, ever felt overwhelmed. A lot of time when they try to drip the content to you, you play for a couple hours and now you're done for the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
Whereas, like, just give us everything, completely overwhelm us for the next 3 months. And then I feel like you'll get, I don't know.
Okay, like the way I see it though, with like the delayed releases between the content, with the way I put it before, where they like ship you your meal week by week, is like the people who couldn't do everything all at once when everything drops at the same time finished at the same pace they would have if like with it split. all you did was delay the people that can play it all at once.
Yeah. So I guess we're mostly we're all in agreement on the fact that you know, having like knowing what's to come but having to wait for a game like Destiny doesn't really feel as good as you would hope that it would.
Yeah.
I just liked being like, oh, okay, on Tuesday I know that this is coming. What I didn't like was like, okay, now there's Menagerie, there's also Heroic Menagerie that we have to wait for, so let's get excited, and then to be, I guess, a little bit more disappointed by that excitement than anything is kind of a shitty feeling. And same with like forges, like having different forges be on the release calendar was kind of like, okay, like, cool, we get this new forge, but you know.
I was just gonna say Season of the Drifter is like the example of why like a lot of people just kind of fell off.
Yep.
Like being like spoon-fed this content over such a long period of time. Just
the spoon feeding stuff.
Either people don't want to play it. Like again, like we talked about earlier. If you're gonna give us stuff, it has to be stuff that we want to do for loot, rather than stuff
and not Gambit.
That's just new.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Gambit is not the most popular activity.
Gambit Prime, man. Gambit Prime, a whole DLC dedicated to it, and its player base is like, last time I checked,
people like it.
Yeah, it's like 10, like not even 5%.
There's things that ruin it, man.
It's just the systems in Gambit right now.
My
like,
biggest issue with Gambit is the invader.
Constantly having
system.
heavy. Invader coming in and just always, every time he comes in, you just know he's got fucking ammo, machine guns, some shit.
Yeah, and not being able to know where the invader is my biggest thing.
And the invader has such an advantage.
I know the invader's taking on like a 1v4, but you're spawning a guy in that potentially has a super. He has heavy ammo. He has an overshield. He has wall hacks that never go away, so you can't really hide from him. And if he's using the invader set in Prime, he's now locked on your bank, so you have to go find them.
Yep.
You have to take on this invincible juggernaut that has full heavy ammo, a super, and an overshield, and knows you're coming.
That's exactly what runs Gambit.
And if he has the full invader set, he has the invader overshield.
Yeah, and he is the invader overshield.
And you can't bank moats even if you clear.
Yep, then you can't bank moats.
Fucking thing shuts down.
Oh, dude, that's the worst one.
Yeah.
He's all specced out, has an overshield, and you can't deposit. Oh.
And since he's locking down your bank, you can't place your moats, so if you die, you just lost progress.
Yep.
Man, I was going to save Gambit for a later talking point, but dude, it's Gambit time. Let's continue on with this road.
God.
I made a whole...
I made the basis of it, man. Like those are the big issues.
Well, like that. Those are problems, but I feel like, you know, if everybody on both teams is wearing a full +3 armor set, you know, then you have at least some way to combat something. My biggest issue has always been with Gambit. I even made a whole entire video on this, where literally my biggest thing is just Gambit Prime does not have a system that rewards it for being an endgame activity. They want it to be an endgame activity, yet somebody who is not even level 50 can access the activity. There's a power.
It's more competitive.
It's more competitive, but like it's the only. But it is. I will give it credit where credit's due. It has unique weapons. It has armor that actually has like benefits to playing the mode, which I don't think anything else. Like there's nothing that.
There are no gear stats anywhere else in Destiny.
Exactly.
But you can't get the armor in the activity either. That's the thing.
No, you have to go through Reckoning, which is in and of itself another one of those things where it's a snooze fest. But like, dude, my biggest thing with Gambit Prime is like, dude, I felt like they missed an opportunity to capitalize off of what people had been wanting from Trials, which is like some kind of tournament thing from Gambit Prime. Perfect timing to put it in there. You just have a system where people have to win games in a row and then they can go to an area and just grab a chest. Like, dude, there's something about that feeling of being in an exclusive area, grabbing that chest when nobody else is in there because you fucking conquered and you won. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
I would love like a PvE only Gambit where you're going head to head against another groups or some PvE.
Ooh, like speeding through, like similar to what you guys did.
Yeah, so that's actually whenever I play Gambit, that's exactly how I play it. Like when I solo queue,
same.
I ignore the PvP aspect of it, and if I can PvE better than you, Yeah, exactly. Like if I can PvE better than the other team, then I'm gonna win every time.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
That's what I wish it was, and then all of a sudden all the invading shit happens, and for me it's just a buzzkill.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
That's how we treated Gambit during the trial. We had Gambit rounds that were like 2 minutes and 15 seconds always. Just screw the invader. Who fucking cares about the invader? Just kill the boss.
So
Well,
if
Gambit
it is going to be centered towards competitive, what if you had something like wager matches too? You wager like 20 enhancement cores or some shit like that.
That's cool. Like, dude, didn't they do that at GC? You wager a moat at GC and you play Gambit, right?
Yeah, it was a little coin.
Right, yeah, but like
type thing.
They had that there.
I still have 2 coins.
Dude, I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff you could do with Gambit, and
definitely.
But I think Gambit suffers from what any game suffers, or any game mode suffers from, and that's like once people figure out a meta, it's over. There is no like when you figure out that when nobody knows the meta, like when you guys first tested it or like first tried it out, nobody knew what the meta was. People were like going in with Whisper to try to shoot bosses and stuff, and like Sleeper Simulant wasn't like in everybody's inventory for a month, and then it wasn't Queen Breakers. Like it was, everybody didn't know the meta, so it was like, oh my god, it's chaos, it's fun, but you didn't know how far they were going to go with that either. So it was like, you know.
I mean, it's not compared to, all right, so I had a lot of fun with the Gambit trial before Forsaken came out. It wasn't only the invader mechanics I really had an issue with after launch. It was that the entirety of the PvE aspect was random now. Like in the Gambit trial, it was a consistent experience. But when the Forsaken came out, it was now completely random. Random ammo, random invader spawns, random enemy spawn locations, random enemy spawn count, random enemy spawn set, random everything. Nothing was consistent.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there is. Oh man, Gambit's just a wild place. I don't actually hate what they did with regular Gambit. I actually really like the update where it's at round 3. If you go there, everybody just starts with supers and ammo, and you can just hop right in there and wreck shit.
Round 3 blade barrage.
Round 3 blade. that's a whole nother story, dude. But yeah, I don't hate that. I don't know, dude. Gambit Prime is mainly my issue, not regular Gambit. I feel like regular Gambit's in an okay place, but Gambit Prime is like, put me to sleep, dude. It's over quick. Like,
I prefer Prime. I think it's a better version.
I think it's the way to get me my powerfuls.
Fucking over quicker, dude.
It's over quicker. See, that's what we got to say about it, though, right? It's like it's over quicker. I either roll or get rolled.
Yeah. I didn't mind any part of the Solstice grind except when I had to play 10 Gambit games. I was like, oh god.
No, I prefer Prime because it feels like a more consistent experience, in my opinion.
What, Prime?
Yeah, Prime feels like a more consistent experience.
It is pretty consistent. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think you actually have a chance at the end of a game to, if somebody is like, if you're getting rolled, you actually can come back. Like you can snowball them right back. I mean, dude, Gambit to me has always been that mode that they made to appease critics, right? Like, think about all the reviews for Forsaken. What is the first thing that every single critic said? Destiny took what we've been wanting. PvE and PvP now have a home together, right? I'm not saying that was their primary intent, but dude, it's like the ultimate critics thing, because critics, let's be honest, unless there's somebody who is dedicated to a certain type of game, don't play games as hard as the player base who plays the game. So Gambit is the ultimate, like, please the critics type of game, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it was a great concept, and I think it can be something very, very special.
But it's got a lot of issues that have still not been fixed.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that people keep bringing up in chat, and I do like this idea, cosmetics, guys. Cosmetics from one source is what Luke Smith said on his essay, basically saying that the design philosophy for Destiny right now is that we want cosmetics to mostly just come from the Eververse, and we do not, and we like the idea of weapons and armor and mods dropping from activities. With some exceptions, cosmetics are going to drop from the Eververse only. What do you guys think about that? Do you think cosmetics should be Eververse mostly, do you like the system of the engrams that we have right now where it's completely random, but you can eventually get everything, or would you like to see cosmetics in your activities?
Well, here's the thing. The first thing that comes to mind is when they brought up the fact that Eververse funded 0 hour. So I don't know. I'm not
Did they say that
against
was
it.
Whisper?
Uh, things like that, like
They
activities.
said
like
that
that get
Whisper,
Oh,
funded.
the
Whisper
ornaments,
Cosmetic.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Things from Eververse, they need to find something that works. Animated emblems.
Dude, Secville
Things that
keeps
they can
putting
make
that
a
on
lot
there.
of money off of to keep creating dope content like that. Like you create simple things like emblems, like at the Bungie store, people go crazy over those things. I don't know, animated emblems, whatever it be. They find something that works, they're gonna make a shit ton of money off of it. And in the end, that means more content, does it not?
Definitely.
Eventually. Yeah. So I honestly don't care either way, personally.
Audio, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I think Flesh and I both express like my character could be a cardboard box.
Okay,
fine.
that's fair.
It's fine. But overall, like I think it should do kind of like what they did with the glows. Like I get the option of either paying silver or bright dust,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
Okay.
Like if you did those two, because you can still earn bright dust by doing quests or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's pretty easy to come by though. Like there's a lot of people with thousands and thousands and thousands of bright dust though.
Dude,
So
I'm back at 80. I'm back at 80k bright dust after the tribute haul.
Jesus,
and again,
dude.
I get that we play a lot, but as like, I don't know. I feel like it's really easy to acquire bright dust, so there's almost no need for people to buy silver if they're gonna make 2 ways to buy it. So it's not like you have to actually grind to get bright dust to get something you want. It's usually just there.
Okay. Glad, what do you think?
I don't really have too many strong opinions. I'm kind of indifferent about it, but if these things help to fund future projects, I mean, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
True.
People are, people that don't want to spend money don't spend money. People that are willing to support, go for it. It's like people that, I don't know, download artist albums or actually buy them to support the artist. I mean, some people just want to support.
I mean, and again, these are things that are not like actually affecting your gameplay, with the exception of the chaperone ornament that gives you more range for some reason. But
that's weird.
Yeah. Wait,
what?
Topic.
Wait, is that true?
I didn't know that. That one's a weird topic because it's like the game. It's like the game shoots your bullet from the end of the barrel in third person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but
that's a dude.
But like,
all right.
if you head glitch,
chaperone ornament, where you at?
It's like the bullet comes out of your face, but like it kind of ends. Like not like ends. It starts where your barrel ends in a third person.
Yeah. Okay, so it is.
But like still at the same time, but it's like it's not like it only starts from there because it also feels like it's just like the entirety of the gun also deals the damage. I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's just strange.
Well, I guess just to play some devil's advocate here, just for the fun of it, I agree with what you guys are saying. I think, it should be like, you can earn all those stuff. You can earn all the stuff in there by playing the game. I think it's not a bad system right now. Something that I really enjoy doing, and I know that we all enjoy doing this, like especially everybody that was trying to crack the code for the Outbreak ship, that beautiful ship that we ended up getting. But like just stuff like that, those are the ones they obviously say are exceptions. But how would you guys feel about maybe implementing because I mean, obviously this isn't for audio or flesh, but I don't know, anybody, this goes out to chat as well, anybody that really likes the cosmetic stuff to go with the other things. It wouldn't be required for titles, but how would you guys feel about something like it being in lost sectors, adding more value to lost sectors if there's some kind of cosmetic thing, like a ghost that you can get out of here that actually looks really cool, yada. Like, I mean, there could be some things with cosmetics, just playing devil's advocate, there could be some things with cosmetics in the world that would give it more life to some of the old activities.
I think it's a great idea to give some life to lost sectors, because obviously nobody really does any lost sectors unless you're doing like a bounty or
Yeah, that was a
Look.
bounty step.
Look, I'll be
Armor
honest.
materials.
Lost sectors are kind of I don't know how to explain it. Those things are.
We'll get to
with
lost sectors, man.
What
Oh
can
my
you do?
god.
They feel like useless parts
Farming
of the universe.
PVs.
I'm gonna say like
True.
the most lost sectors got ran was during faction rallies. That
Yeah,
was it.
Yeah.
They just feel like useless content you can't make good use out of to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, dude. You can make good content out of lost sectors, though. That's the thing. Is like you can make a loop out of lost sectors. Lost sectors can't. Well, okay. Before we get fully to lost sectors,
that's how you got to 0 hour.
right? Well, that is true.
That's only like using part of the play space, though. You could invent that play space specifically for 0 hour.
yeah. One thing that comes to mind is Dust Rock Blues, that one lost sector that people used to farm to get Dust Rock Blues.
Mhm.
That was a good use.
Those are like the only
That's
good
cool.
things. Yeah, that's like Borderlands style.
Mm-hmm.
I just think anything to add more life to lost sectors is cool, because I actually do disagree. I actually think lost sectors are some of the coolest areas that people don't really explore, because there's no need to explore the lost sectors.
Yeah.
I did lie. I completely forgot that Lost Sector bosses had like a couple specific legendaries they could drop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they
Just
forgot
attach
about
something
that.
dope to each one. Boom.
Exactly.
yeah,
How many
exactly.
lost sectors do you have in total?
There's a
Between all
lot.
of them?
There's like
Oh, dude,
there's like
shit.
at least, I'm gonna say on Earth, and dude, in the first area of Earth, or of EDZ, there's like 3 right there, right on
There's
you.
3. Yeah, there's 3 in Jocelyn.
And then there's so many on the original places, and then on the DLCs, there's got to be at least 25 to anywhere between 25 to 40. So like to have,
EDZ has a ton, and then they taper off the further you get in the planet cycle.
Yep. Because I mean, once again, they were like a selling point, is like, check out these lost sectors, and then everybody kind of went in and was like, okay, I can get some stuff, but there's nothing powerful there, which there doesn't need to be anything powerful there, but just something for people to want to work for. And I think going back to the cosmetics, you could tie in some kind of cosmetic rewards there.
Yeah. Anything that makes them useful, because they have not been useful for
100k burying bows is the only thing
Yeah,
it's
I was
been
gonna
useful
say
for.
bow, dude. Bow's really been useful for.
Catalyst in the lost sectors. Oh, like one catalyst tied to like all the lost sectors.
That's short-term usage. I don't really think
that's gonna be tough.
Okay.
Give
What's
me
up?
something to farm.
Yeah. Planetary lost sector loot. Oh, someone's gonna go count. Yo, shout out to you, Swain. Yeah, I mean, lost sectors just in general, man. They were definitely. You guys remember watching the trailers for D2 release? It was like,
I thought they were gonna be sick.
yep. I thought they were gonna be so cool. I thought IO was gonna have like all, because whenever they showed IO, it was like, check out the lost sectors of IO. And
I thought they
don't
were gonna feel like dungeon type areas.
know. Ooh, that would have been. Whoa, that would have been awesome, dude.
That's the impression they gave me, that they would feel like dungeon type
Bro.
areas when they told us.
If lost
Whoa.
sectors were like dungeons, dude, you know how grindy this game would be?
Oh my god.
Like, I'm not saying, hey, design Shattered Throne for every lost sector you have in the game right now, but the way, that's the feeling they gave me when they first revealed lost sectors. Like, when they started talking about D2. I thought they were going to be like dungeons.
They like dive deep into the lost sectors. And
Yep.
Yeah, they made it
claim
sound
your
dope.
loot. It's like, okay.
Like, they sold that well. Bungie does really good
dive
again.
deep into the 2-foot water deep of in the pool. Like, okay.
Yeah,
The
get your
weak-ass
feet,
boss.
get your feet soaked.
Do my
Make sure
garage
you
again.
take your socks off.
Yeah, I mean, lost sectors, man. Like, and some of them are so in depth. Some of them have like insane lighting. They have like they have things that aren't even in the rest of the game. And like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's so much there. And the only thing that they did with lost sectors, which I will give them credit for, is have ascendant challenges be inside of the lost sectors.
Dreaming City is like the only
to do
place
that.
with lost sectors that have a purpose for anything.
Mm-hmm. Dreaming City is fucking dope, bro.
Yeah, it
really
was
cool
amazing.
for a while.
Dreaming City is so
Right.
cool.
But now we keep going there to level up every DLC, and it's old as shit.
Yeah.
I keep going back and forth on thinking, Dreaming City and Mars looking like the coolest, and then I've just decided, nah, it's the Dreaming City. There's just nothing better. There just really is nothing better.
For you too.
Yeah.
Am I cutting out?
Yeah.
Every now and then.
Sorry. It's this Discord call. And my mic, potentially. Dude, yeah. Somebody's... Imagine like a Shattered Throne type of thing in each lost sector. That would be just wild. Okay.
That would be way too demanding.
That'd be a lot.
Yeah, for
that'd
sure.
be so fucking much. So another thing that we kind of got at the beginning of Destiny 1 that we were like, we got a taste of it, and it was something, or not in the beginning of Destiny, beginning of Destiny 2, which we had in Destiny 1 the whole way through, was faction rallies.
I was gonna say tethers that worked.
Oh, and tethers that worked. Faction rallies, though.
Alright, yeah, faction rallies, though. Faction rallies.
So, how would we, if we were to bring back faction rallies, you are a game designer, what do you do to bring back faction rallies? This goes, let's start with Sweat on this one. Sweat, what do you do for faction rallies?
Oh, man. I mean, well...
Get rid of renown.
I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Can I go on this one?
It goes.
Yeah, right after
that. It goes back to, again, just making weapons actually viable from these vendors, and like, I don't know.
Right.
In D1, in terms of these vendors, you were ranking up because you wanted to get the weapons from them, not just because you had to for the event to get a catalyst.
Right. I would like to say that I've been preaching for a while that I personally feel like systematically Destiny 1 vanilla is the most systematically sound we've ever had Destiny feel, like Destiny be, and the factions are a part of this. So like when they made the faction rallies, instead of just having the factions how they were in D1, instead of building on a system that was good and worked and everybody liked, they completely decided to redesign it. So if they just took D1's factions and added the idea of a rally onto that, it would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I felt like there was nothing wrong with factions.
No,
there wasn't anything wrong with D1 factions. They were perfectly sound systematically.
And this goes back to something we talked about earlier, which is that it feels like, and this isn't us like trying to be, this isn't me trying to be like, just like shitting on Bungie. That's not the intent here. It feels like they take something and they go, okay, how can we expand on this further? What can we try to make this feel new? And it's like, sometimes there's just things that you don't need to expand on. It just works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The reputation system in general being that thing. I don't like tokens at all.
Nah.
Tokens suck.
D1 vendors felt more meaningful.
Yeah.
Tokens just suck, dude. And do you remember, what was it, level 25 for each faction? You got a exotic class item?
Yep.
Yeah, and
There was summon to chase for factions. There was, new faction rules every single week. Bonus reputation, yep, all that kind of stuff. And that was a legit grind.
Didn't come until way later, though. That was like, they didn't do that until they remade the raids in year 3.
Yeah, I mean... dude, it just I don't know, it just feels like they wanted to make it easier. I get it, they wanted to make, because level 25 grind to get those exotic class items was pretty tough. Realistically, that was pretty tough.
Well, yeah, because
it was fun.
We leveled up way more slow, like
right.
way more slowly.
True.
D1, which I liked more. That system just felt a lot better than tokens, though.
Yeah, I've always been of the belief that factions could, like, they're chilling in the tower still. We can still use dance party keys, man. Like, they're chilling. Like, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be just something with them, and like just use them in some kind of way.
At this point, I'm very much convinced that they haven't worked on anything with factions. I don't believe they've done anything at all.
I saw a Reddit comment today. I saw a screenshot of a comment from DMG saying that there's nothing on faction rallies or trials yet this season. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm definitely convinced they've done literally nothing with factions at all since retiring them a year ago.
I'd rather work on the base game first before that kind of stuff gets the wheel gets reinvented.
True.
I mean,
work inside out.
They could put factions back to exactly how they were in D1 and nobody would ask at all for any improvements.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are wondering, because there might be some people in here that have never played D1, and that's totally understandable. In D1, basically there was factions, and they were, it was like it was the vendors that you see in the tower right now. They were all over the tower. There was Future War Cult, New Monarchy, and Dead Orbit, and they had different roles on the same kind of weapons every single week. And instead of you having tokens, there was what it was just what was it? It was
Reputation.
just reputation. And you would what would you turn into them again? Dude, it's been so long.
You would turn in items that were useful to you. So like you would turn in weapon parts, special ammo synths, heavy ammo synths, motes of light,
that's what it was.
And some other stuff.
Oh my god, I forgot about modes, dude.
Bro, do you remember this thing? Strange coins, dude.
Yeah.
Strange coins for heavy ammo synths.
I always thought that was much better, because even though like you could use them as tokens exist solely for the purpose of turning them into the factions. They have no value outside of that. So like if you were turning in heavy ammo synths for reputation, you were giving something up that you could potentially use in a fight.
Yeah.
So I guess for the people who are wondering, you would turn in all of your materials similar to how you turn in your materials to the Callus statue for that one tribute that you turn in. That's pretty much the same kind of system. But for leveling up your factions, which would give you a bonus reputation, it would give you eventually an exotic class mod in the later years of Destiny 1, but it's just something that worked well for about everything. You also did that for Vanguard as well, because Vanguard was its own faction with your own spokesperson.
I don't think you could turn in
not for Vanguard.
For Vanguard, it was only bounties, right? It was Vanguard bounties.
Whatever gave you rep.
Got you. So it was rep for those.
Anything that gave you rep except for Crucible would give you Vanguard and whatever faction you were aligned with that week.
Yep.
Somebody said,
I forgot about that.
Imagine if
a faction you couldn't change.
Imagine if Sweat could turn in his 100,000 Barian bows for rep.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's what the other thing was. I knew there was something missing. You turned in planetary materials.
I'm waiting.
Was harder to. It was harder to come by back then, because it was you used to, if you were to buy them back then, you'd have to turn in legendary marks, and we had a 200 cap. Yeah. Whereas now, if we were to buy a planetary material, it's one shard of our 422 million.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like just I guess speaking on the factions themselves and not like materials, because I've always said that like more materials are a good thing. We talked about that earlier, but for factions, it's just, I don't know. I think it's always been a good system with what we had, and I guess if I had to ask anything, let's ask somebody who didn't really play Destiny 1. Sorry, Audio, I'm putting you on the spot. What would you do for?
I knew you were gonna call me out.
What would we do?
I thought we were family, man.
We are, dude. This is what family does. We fuck with each other. What are we doing for factions, Audio? If you, not knowing anything from Destiny 1, what are you doing for factions?
I don't know what I could say that what hasn't already been said, but I guess the way that you gain rewards through just turning in planet mats or mats associated with those vendors, because like right now, like they're just kind of in the tower just hanging out, but I can't even talk to the dude. Like I go to the Dead Orbit guy, he's just standing there.
He's on his notepad. He's on his iPad looking at you, dude.
And then I want to hop in one of those little pods in the Future War Cult, but I can't.
Yeah, and I want to use dance party keys, man.
Oh, dude, those things are amazing. More of those, please.
So good. I remember I saw you on stream. Somebody had one still. And you're like, all right, let's go test out Dead Orbit, and it was just a full party. I don't know, like that's just fun.
The whole tower.
Yeah, I mean, factions are just, I feel like they shouldn't completely go away though, because they're like they add more of like a universe to Destiny, where there is other things going on in the game. But I do think the way they handled faction rallies in year 1 was questionable.
I wish, like, if I just kind of asking, like, if I were a designer, I'd want to have some impact of the faction that I choose on the rest of the world that I experience. And same thing if within fire teams, if I'm in a conflicting faction with a party member, like I want something to happen. Like just flavor text. Like it doesn't have to like drastically impact the game, but just something else.
there's potential for factions to like I'm not really a story guy when it comes to games, but like there's potential for factions to make it feel like there are things going on in Destiny's universe outside of what you're doing.
Yeah, and yeah, like factions have always added, like, I mean, Destiny, dude, the only way I find out about like the story about what's going on is people tell me or correct me when I say something about a boss. They're like, oh no, it's actually like this is what happened to Riven, or like this is what happened to the Dreamy City. I'm like, okay, cool, now I've learned. But it's
I know
cool
what happened to Riven. I
like,
walked in and shot that bitch's heart.
Hey man, he's a cutie.
Sheesh, dude. You talking about my girl like that?
Yeah, she's a cutie.
I shot that bitch's heart.
He's a cutie.
Rather adorable.
The only reason I know most of this stuff is I check out Bife.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much like, but I see, like, for me, I don't know a lot of what goes on in the story because I don't think their focus is in front. Story and, you know, characters, plot development isn't like their front and center idea. It's like the gameplay, obviously, but factions do add what feels like a universe. It feels like there are other things going on in Destiny other than this one story. It feels like you're in a universe when there's factions.
Yeah, even if it's just flavor text and it has zero impact on the way that you encounter a strike boss, but like just knowing that there's like a dialogue or like another story happening in the background, it's just something more to think about your character as far as development.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else you guys want to add on factions? Do you think we covered pretty much all of it?
Take your time bringing them back.
Yep.
Take your time.
And let Sweat exchange his BBs for reputation.
Yeah, I'll keep stocking them up, dude.
You still have all 100K? You didn't do anything with. Fuck that.
Bro, you guys start auctioning them off. Okay, what is something else? So, I don't think I want to go into trials on this one because we're not a PvP. I don't think any of us are PvP guys, but
I don't give the slightest fuck about PvP, if I'm honest.
I think PvP is healthy for the game. I think it's really good. I think half the player base are PvP players.
I don't know. I treat PvP in a PvE game like going to a bar looking for love. You know, like it could be there. But
like,
you shouldn't try too hard, you know?
Like, real shit on that
people
one, though.
do, man, every weekend.
Real shit on that one, though. Like, personally, I feel like I can't take PvP serious in a loot-based game.
Yeah.
There's too many variables.
Exactly.
Well, PvP
like,
is as sweaty as a Friday night bar, dude. Let's be honest.
When it becomes like super random, like the way that it is now, like it's not catered to a competitive environment of
it's
static.
not.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it's set up in such a way that it's not realistically competitive, then I don't get into it that much.
Yeah, I mean, Trials is healthy for the game, though. I mean, especially since we have like all streamers here. I mean, we know what Trials did for Destiny and why.
So excited, man.
It really does, and that goes back to the feeling of just ultimately like going in there, competition, conquering, and then going to some secluded area where you earned it, you're there, and now you can go open up the big dick moment. Yeah, the big dick taking a screenshot of you and your friends in Mercury.
Emotes, dude, right on the chest.
Yep, emote on the chest. Sit on the edge, find what you thought was Osiris's corpse, and it's fucking not. It's just some dude.
Just some dude.
Just a dude that went in there. But yeah, I mean, dude, I think PvP is really important. We're not gonna touch much into that because I'm not an expert on PvP. I don't know if you guys play a lot of PvP, but it's definitely something that
Destiny would not be the game I play a lot of PvP in.
But Destiny is unique in the sense that PvP is one of the core parts, is what makes it special. That's where its identity is taking stuff. And I really love PvP for that, is that I can take stuff that I earned in PvE and head into PvP and just wreck shit.
Yeah, that's fun. Like that for me, like it's fun. It's not competitive.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's really hard to be competitive unless you have some like set loadouts or something.
I don't mind quick play at all. I highly enjoy it. Comp is freaking.
Dude, low level comp is actually really fun
I
because
hate
everybody's bad at
Comp
low
is
level comp.
actually better than quick play right now because of team balancing.
I hate comp.
Low comp is definitely better than quick play.
PvP in this game is like Mario Kart. If you pretend it's a competitive racing simulator, you're gonna have a bad time. But if you just play for what it is, it can be a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, dude. Like,
Exactly.
if you,
I was just thinking about like the Mario Kart scenario. Like you turn items off, then it's just
racing.
Karts, and it's just you really want to play Mario Kart for just racing?
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good point. Vada just brought up there should be some PvE equivalent to flawless trials. I mean, isn't that beating the raid
I think
though?
that's
just
to be
raiding.
but they just they keep trying to make raids too accessible because the percentage of people that do them is low.
Flawless
So
trials.
can I ask what would be a competitive? This is like very very hypothetical, and I'm sorry to get into the hypotheticals, but what would be a competitive PvE type of activity other than, because we said Gambit could have been, right? But what is a different, like, just, I mean, I guess you could incorporate some kind of Gambit systems, but what does a competitive PvE endgame activity look like for you guys that has some kind of trial system where you have to win an amount of games and then you go to some secluded area, whatever?
Well,
raid with contest on. Hey,
that is true.
You say competitive at all?
Competitive, yes, competitive. Like you have to
time trials.
Yep, I was just gonna say like time trial leaderboards, and I really liked the concept. I like the thing that we did. I shouldn't say we, but that you guys put together with the teamed raid races.
That was so cool. Yeah,
that was, for me, it was tons of fun. Like just watching, like it's like going to a racetrack, watching all the racers line up and kind of fight for position, and then when they get to certain parts in the raid, like one team moves ahead, and then kind of like Mario Kart, like random item hits the field, you guys get the band on this particular thing, changes the pace of the race, and it was like that kind of stuff is like entertaining, and at the end it becomes balanced because just like Mario Kart, like you'd have a series of races across the circuit, and then when you get to the end, based off of the points you got on each of those races, like that would put your placement 1, 2, and 3 and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like that would be fun competitively for me.
I think time trials just fits well in Destiny because Destiny 1 we had a timer. The end of every mission you would complete, you would be able to open up your end scorecard and see your timer. But there's no leaderboard anywhere you can compare, like where you could compare to somebody else, despite the fact that they give you an end of mission time on every mission.
What about, and they took away boss damage?
Yeah, and they took away boss damage there too.
So something like that.
Have something in game to like even Division has it. Division has a mission leaderboard for speed time for every mission in the game. Everything you can do, every activity has an end of game. You can see your time, and there's a leaderboard for all of it in the game.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, dude, I really like the idea of having a competitive PvE kind of activity. Like you said, time trials are cool, and you know, just similar to how PvP is set up, there would be a meta in PvE time trials. Like I can use, like, Mountaintop Recluse obviously is going to be the one right now if we were to do it right now, but just some kind of meta is always going to be there, and it changes over time with sandbox updates, but as far as a competitive final thing, it's really hard to do that. I would assume that would be extremely hard in this hypothetical scenario. Even thinking of something that would be inclusive enough that players would understand what they're getting into, other than just time trials, would be kind of hard to make it in some kind of way that would reward people for getting to the competitive end game and beating everything, right? Because there's going to be, it's PvE, so there is going to be cheeses, which is fine, that's a part of it, but one team might complain like, hey, that person glitched out of the map, we need to patch this immediately, and there's a lot of things in PvE that might make it a little different, but I do think it's a great idea that a trials like parallel to PvE instead of just PvP.
I was gonna say that doesn't really differ much from trials because you had things like final round that were cheesy as shit. You'd have people dump rounds and you get one shot body shotted, you know. Well, at least back in D1. I don't know.
Oh man,
I think having that
Definitely
cheesy
cool
stuff in is
concept.
totally fine though, because that's like in the spirit of speedrunning to finish something as quick as you can.
definitely.
And again, trials is everybody knows that's the end game type of thing. If there's something like that for PvE, going into it, they would have to know what they're getting into rather than just wandering into the playlist.
Yeah, I mean it's. I'm just trying. I'm trying to think of a scenario. I think something cool like. I think what you guys did with the raid race, have everybody go in and beat a raid as fast as possible. I mean, I don't know if that would really apply for like their competitive endgame PvE, but man, it would just be so cool to have something to like incentivize more people to be involved in speedrunning in Destiny, because it's very, very small, but I think it has potential to be something much, much larger. Like in D1 it was very, very large, and in D2 it still is really large. There's a huge community for it. I mean, we're all part of that kind of community, but like, dude, it was, I mean, I feel like if you open it up more, then you could have a huge amount of people speedrunning it, which would give you more incentive to want to just keep going faster and faster through things.
Yeah, it would be super cool. Like, just hypothetically speaking, if you were to go to the director, and then on the director there's a little raid button, like at the bottom right, you click that with your fire team, and it's a raidathon. You go through your fire team, get as far as you can. So like there'll be a leaderboard for raids cleared and clear count with time, and then there will be a leaderboard for full clear, and then it'll have like full clear counts and full clear times, and then that way people have something to strive for as far as like just PvE content.
Okalavo said that Bungie, if Bungie hosted a raid speedrunning raid event, that would be really, really cool. If they just host an event for speedrunners. What do you guys think of that? I mean, obviously that's going to be like a yes, but do I even need to say anything else, dude? Like,
yeah, like that's a yes, 100%. But like, kind of like what we saw, like there has to be like some regulation to it, because there are quite a few cheesy things that you can do that get you through raid. That obviously, like if you have insider knowledge, like you know how to do a thing way faster than anything. Like if you're part of those speedrunning teams that knows like, oh, I'm gonna out a map over here, and like you're just somebody trying to play, like you have no idea that even exists.
Well, honestly, I think it'd be instead of doing that, I think they'd be better off trying to actually nurture a competitive PvP environment, because when it comes to like speedruns and PvE, you're not gonna finish every run, but you're gonna finish every competitive game.
Dude.
And yeah, and there's
RNG is very
there are completely uncontrollable aspects. Like you're not gonna finish every speedrun.
Yep. You will, but it'll be shit.
Yeah.
You'll wipe
Especially with something like Scourge, dude. Literally didn't reset in the beginning for 2 hours before you came out. So.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, we already talked about. Did we talk about this? I think we did, but snowballing supers. Did we talk about how supers can just be completely?
No, but we did mention that quick play feels like mayhem already.
Right. I mean, this is more for PvE. Just do you guys like the idea of having something like a Phoenix Protocol in the game, or something like? I mean, obviously we like it, but do we feel like if it was gone, the game would ultimately benefit from it, or would it just be like, oh my god, my super's taking too long? Like all of those would be gone. Yeah.
I do feel like the game would probably be better off without them entirely, because then it would give the game this aspect where, like, if you want to be able to do something where you're gonna use a lot of supers, then you need to be smart about what you're killing with your supers, how much of your super you're using, what you're killing with it. I don't know if I already said that, but like actually getting all the orbs you need to generate the supers for your teammates would be a lot harder.
Strategic planning.
Yeah, it would be more strategically planned. Like if you wanted to guarantee that you're going to get your team their full super, like you would have to weaken majors maybe, and then kill them with the super.
Yeah. But what do you think about super snowballing? Because I'm completely indifferent on it. I like the ability to get my super back But I
hate it. I freaking hate it. I think it's terrible. I think it's a game of like, the first 2 to 3 minutes is fun, and then once the supers start coming in, it's
he meant for a PvE aspect.
I meant PvE, not PvP.
Oh, you're not talking Crucible.
No, I'm talking like a scenario where I have Lunas, I drop the well, I swap to Phoenix, and I swap everything
so
around.
You're talking about just feeding each other supers.
Like feeding supers that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
You mean like 6 goldies?
Like, yeah, something like that, pretty much.
Some of
it's
the
more
strategies
exotic
that are
armor
used for that stuff in PvE are definitely optimize and require specific character loadouts and class loadouts and stuff like that. But I don't see near as much of a problem with it. I think the biggest issue that Destiny has with super regen and stuff like that is the exotics that fuel your own.
And that's the main point. Yeah. I'm talking about like Phoenix Protocol and Shards of Galanor got nerfed pretty hard, but like
I mean, the thing with those supers is supers are the most powerful things that we have in the game, for the most part. And if you have exotics that focus around that sort of stuff, it's pretty much going to make everything else void, essentially.
Yeah.
Like
pretty much.
Back in the days of Curse of Osiris, when people, the best strategy to killing Argos was one guy is spamming tethers the entire time, and the rest of them are just shooting Nighthawks constantly. I thought that was a fucking circus. That was ridiculous. That shouldn't have been a thing.
It was like that for a while for a lot of things.
Yeah, that was absolutely a circus. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was wild, dude. I just think that ultimately, like, exotic armor pieces, because I feel like there's no middle ground that they've found yet, because look at what Skull is like right now. Would you use Skull of Dire Ahamkara ever anymore? Fuck no.
It still has it still has its use.
I mean,
it is still more super than you would have had otherwise.
I mean, yeah, but are you really gonna make the swap just for that?
Depends.
I mean, not, but like it's such a small amount. I see what you're saying, but it's such a small amount that I feel like it's hard to find a middle ground when you created an exotic armor piece that literally is like, get super back faster, and you made this for every single class just to be like, okay, this is like our, and that just goes back to a lot of things, which is like short-term solutions to a long-term problem is what they ultimately made by doing those. You have to use bad juju to use Skull at this point. I mean, that's cool. That's a cool combo, but
I mean, if
honestly,
super back
PC
fast,
Master Race, I can swap.
Super's like,
oh my god,
Super could not hit as hard, and maybe it would be a little bit better, but I don't know.
If the super was designed for killing ads, then like more understandable. But in the case of Skull, Nova Bomb is too damn strong to be getting a whole super back instantly.
Everything explodes. It's ridiculous.
It's
Nova's a beast.
It is
Nova's
Nighthawk
awesome.
damage that fills your super almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
But goddamn, it was fun.
Dude, it was so much fun. Tractor cannon, boop, see ya, like to everything. It was fun. Yeah, I mean, like Shards, because Shards of Galanor, what is it, round 3 of Gambit, it's still like insane. You can still just instantly get it back.
Yeah, because it's
because it regens.
The way it restores is it's a modifier to your regen rate.
Right.
Which is amplified by that mayhem like modifier.
Like one thing with like Phoenix Protocol that he specifically said was, we want Phoenix Protocol to like, I don't have it up right now. I can pull it up, but basically it's along the lines of, we don't want a snowballing exotic armor piece to be the only thing that you use, because in PvE and in PvP it seems like these are the only ones getting used. And I totally see what he's saying, but I also feel like it's a little fine line there, because like you might as well just vault something if it's going to become so useless that nobody even uses it. It's really hard to make that decision. It's like there's so many exotics that are also not worth using.
There's still a lot better of a selection than we had in D1 though.
Agreed.
I cannot say enough how many bad exotics there were in D1. Like, I can tell you on one hand I like the amount of exotics that are good in D1. I can count on one hand. One hand.
Yeah, no. Somebody just said
game.
cries in Aeon gear. Dude, Aeon gear.
Like that gear on paper sounds like a good idea, but in actual application, it's like what the.
I think it's like one small tweak and it's good. Just allow us to, instead of having to wait for the buff to run out, just allow us to like add on to a timer.
Dude, I swear, man. Like, yeah, these are a lot of really good points here. Okay. What else was I going to talk about? Somebody brought something up. But yeah, so basically just exotics right now are just kind of like that, but I swear I had something else about exotics and I'm now totally oh, yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. So exotics right now kind of are in this place where, like we were saying before, it's like if you're not using an exotic that refills your super or a couple of like or gives you infinite ammo, what are you using? Why are you using it? Dude, utility exotics are something that they're just so nice. And for anybody who's wondering in chat, a utility exotic is something like it doesn't really change the stats. It just changes the way that you play. So a good example would be Stompies, where instead of you jumping a regular distance, you jump much further and you can run faster with Stompies, right?
Yes.
But like it's something like that. It's something that doesn't affect stats. It's something that is just meant to change the way that you play. They had some really good ones in D1 that I would really, really like back. Twilight Garrison #1.
That shit can stay in D1.
Movement gets fixed.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how it would affect Destiny 2. I don't know.
People want the Twilight back so bad, and it's just like, why do you want the Twilight back when there's no skating in D2?
There's no horizontal movement.
Exactly.
I want to be able to back up when I'm running forward, man.
It makes you wonder how it would be.
Just play Hunter.
I mean, Bones of AO is the #1 thing that I want.
Yes, the bones absolutely need to come back.
No, you got Flesh started on it. Here we go.
Dude, Bones on Destiny 2's freaking control jump would be nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be awesome, and especially for like getting the places that you couldn't get to before. That'd be really
There's
cool.
So much value in having an extra Hunter jump. So much.
They were saying something, what was it, on the stream about having an extra Hunter jump or whatever, and I kept thinking of Flesh and his damn Bones of AO.
So I'll have 3 strafe jumps. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Audio. I'm gonna put you on the spot here again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Love you. Family stuff. Gotta do it. What is what kind of utility exotic, if you had to just hypothetically sum up one that you think would benefit it could be any class, what kind of utility would you like to see be used in Destiny that hasn't been used for an exotic? I guess an example would be how Bones of AO gives you an extra jump, right? So that could open up the opportunity for hunters to get to places they couldn't get before. Movement, all that kind of stuff. Hunters feel a lot more like a hunter. They can jump around all over the place. What would be something that I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I should have given you more time for this, but what is something that you might want to see?
And you're talking like not something that already exists, like an ability that gives everybody else like stats, like Chains of Woe. Like,
no, it would be something like that affects specifically just the. I mean, it could affect that, but it's more to do with the fact that it's utility. Like you use it to move around. It's more like it affects the way that you move around the arena.
Because personally, I like things that help the entire party. So like something like if the Titan had Hollow Fire Heart, and not only did it increase my solar regen rate, but it passively increased everybody else's solar regen rate, but they would have to be on solar class.
Oh, Hollow Fire Heart? Yeah, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, like that would just be like an extension of it.
I like
think the utility I would add is let's just give hunters blink back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
would-
not,
I
that's
would
not
the
love
bad.
utility
that.
I'd like.
That's not
I would
bad.
definitely love that,
I think hunters benefit from blink quite a bit. It'd be fun.
boys.
I
Give us
just
blink.
don't understand why they would take it.
Budgie, give us blink.
Blink.
Imagine hunters blinking around with stompies though, bro.
Blink, blink, blink.
I mean, we already kind of had that, dude, with the ones of AO, right? Just all over the
Stompies
place.
wouldn't work like Astrocyte though. It wouldn't beef up Blink. It would just be the sprint speed at that point.
Yeah.
And for everybody in chat who's saying like talk about artifacts, they're gonna talk about artifacts. Bungie's got that one covered. We don't know anything yet.
We don't really know anything at all about
Dude, they
those.
said
I mean,
they
we
were
don't-
gonna talk about it today and they didn't, so I was triggered.
Dude,
think-
they scrolled over it. I have a screenshot that they scrolled over it of the artifact for half a second. And it just says unlocks available 1 out of 12. I'll put the link in the call,
It just
but
says some stuff about XP as well. It doesn't really
Yeah,
tell
it's
you.
it's the same screenshot of the people that were.
yeah, it's just like
one.
unlocks, next artifact unlock. But we know nothing, so I won't really touch on artifacts, guys, until they talk about artifacts some more, because it's literally all speculation at that point.
Oh, speaking of that, the XP with the power bonus something. There's like that. I mean, that's on the thing.
Yeah.
Something about like leveling up to get bonus power. So
And they're just talking about like slotting different things in there, like you unlock, like you kind of like how old gear and old weapons were, where like you have to play the game and get XP to level up those things. I think it's working that way, right? I don't know. We don't know. Luke told T-Rex he'll be discussing that type of stuff tomorrow. Okay, yeah, so they'll be talking about that tomorrow.
Yep, episode 2 tomorrow.
Yep. All right. Well, I don't have anything else to really talk about, guys. Does anybody else have anything off the top of their head?
We got a lot of info that's
Yeah.
coming still.
Got a
So
lot of
teased
stuff coming.
us. They teased us with something else on the stream that I haven't heard anybody say anything about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Better
There
not
was
be top
one-
tree void titan.
Wait,
Nah,
did I miss that one?
There
Did I
was-
miss the most important thing of all? Weapons of light, dude.
All right. Well,
shout out to
as
all
I
the
was saying,
Titan mains. Thank
My bad. Go ahead.
as I was saying,
Go ahead. My bad.
there's a mod they got close to scrolling over, and they never did. And I want to know what it does, but they didn't show it.
Oh,
Wait.
It looks like it pertains to ammo, and it looks like it has a little skull modifier, like our strike modifiers have or had at least.
So you're saying they're
What's
bringing
that?
back juggler?
I was gonna say
No. It
juggler,
was a
dude.
mod on armor. I don't know though. It just looked like it pertained to ammo. The
Give
icon.
yourself juggler.
oh my
yeah.
god.
All right.
No.
No. That could actually be seriously useful, slightly in some place.
Yeah, if the drop
Way
rate of the
more
other
special
ammo was
ammo?
a beast.
Yeah,
So
way
what if
more
it's like
special
a-
ammo.
Like a trade-off. Like you give yourself juggler, but it benefits you or your team in another way. Like if you get shit ammo drops, what if it gives your team better ammo drops? You know?
As long as I'm not the one having to
Oh,
rock
wait.
juggler, we're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
fuck that, dude.
Okay, so no, that's not juggler. That's famine.
Oh well, yeah, famine, but
Whatever
wasn't
it is.
juggler was like radar off, melee damage increase,
Nah,
and like
juggler is the gun you're holding doesn't get ammo drops.
oh fuck that one still. Not a fan of that one. Yeah, let's talk about the other thing in talking about subclasses. The final thing that I have here is weapons of light. Guys, it's back. First impressions.
Is a titan main. I know I'm a rare beast. I don't know if I like the idea of that now. If I'm in a party, that's the only subclass I'll have to run.
Yeah.
Melting
I don't
point
have-
still
You're
exists.
ready.
I mean, melting
no.
point does exist, but like you
Middle
got
tree is still
tractor
good.
cannon you got tractor cannon with swarm, so it's like
I mean,
And you
For
still
now.
have sunspots to buff your own damage, and same thing
No.
with bottom striker.
Bottom
I'm gonna say what I've been saying.
so
all
like
day.
so for me, like whenever I run, I always run bottom tree striker or I run middle tree void. That's just
Mhm.
my fun PvE loadout. But
yeah.
because like bottom tree striker, obviously like frontal assault, knockout, all that kind of fun stuff. But if now I'm in a group content that's expecting boss DPS, like I have to run top tree void.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what everybody's complaint was in D1.
That's how the lock has felt.
But what were you gonna say?
That's what I'm saying. Like warlocks, like are in that same boat. Like if you're not running solar mid, like what are you doing? Like you're actually costing.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I just like that it at least brings team utility to the Titan. So like before, you were basically just playing 6 warlocks because why the fuck do I need a hunter? I have a tractor cannon. Why the fuck do I need a Titan? You don't give me damage.
Yeah.
Pretty much, dude. Glad you had a point that you were gonna say.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna say what I've been telling people all day. I think we should all wait until we see what they mean by rebalancing or whatever the ways that they are changing like damage stacking.
Yeah.
Because they specifically said that we are going to change the way that damage stacks in Destiny 2. So everyone's like freaking out over, and there's been a haunting nerf of Lunas that's been lingering for months now, and I think we should get the full picture.
Yep, I agree.
Before we make any crazy accusations about everything, because clearly them putting weapons into the game, first thought that comes to mind is, okay, now you have weapons and what the fuck happens here? I'm sure Bungie is going to adjust everything and sort of think about all of this together as a group, and then we can sort of figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, and I talked about it briefly earlier, like with the damage numbers for the looking ahead section. Destiny's one of the few games that I've ever played where damage across the board is multiplicative. Like all of the buffs are like stacking on top of each other and multiplying. Most games actually stop it at the base. So like you won't get like these like you won't get like these exponential increases in how you get stronger. So I'm hoping like they start taking that into consideration. Because like they just vaguely said refactoring the way damage stacking rule works. So probably what we'll hear more about tomorrow.
Dude,
I think the best solution is,
or rather in the next episode of the director's cut.
I think the best solution is either additive buffs or reducing the amount of damage increase you get from each one.
Dude, I totally agree with the notion that we just need to wait, because I cannot imagine a scenario where they would allow a Well of Radiance empowered, and if it just by somehow, there's something to do with the Leviathan, Striking Hand, Emperor's Blaze, Weapons of Light. I mean, dude, tractor cannon,
and then your weapon.
And then you use your weapon. Like, I can't imagine a scenario where because like the fact that Meme and Callus is still like Callus is an old boss. I get it.
Watch yourself.
Dude, we killed him with the rose. Like,
that guy's a puddle.
There is nothing else to it, man. I fully agree that we just need to give it some time. I'd like to see something like Lumina actually have a purpose in the game, because you have Weapons of Light, and then you could stack Lumina with that instead of the Well giving you a buff or something like that. That would be a cool thing to do. I don't know, dude. I like the idea that there's more in there, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
For that one.
On the topic of Lumina, I really don't like that that route was taken where Lumina doesn't work with any other damage buffs, because I feel like if you're gonna go all in on it, you should feel the reward of it.
I mean,
if you're going to try and use every
centered, though, I really do.
Yeah, but we've seen them make changes to things work in PvP that don't work in PvE. Obviously, I'm going to go to this topic I go to all the time. Tether works for heavy weapons in PvP, but not PvE at all. Tether increases damage on heavy weapons in PvP.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's kind of weird that one doesn't work at all. That one's just dumb. I mean, I agree that Lumina should stack with certain things, and I think it would just be cool to have like a meta where it's like, okay, you have one person on, but then once again you run into that same issue of, okay, we need to have somebody with Lumina, but that's always been an issue with pretty much everything. Somebody has to run tractors, somebody has to do all this, Speaking of which, side note, I love the tractor cannon. It's the best exotic Destiny's ever made.
After it's buff.
Dude, after it's buff. Well, before the buff, it was a meme cannon. Let's be real. That thing was fun.
Slamming the wall again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's about all I had on the bubble. I mean, it's more of a wait and see. It's cool little cock tease.
I'm gonna add one more thing to the bubble though.
Go ahead for sure.
With the bubble having both armor and weapons at the same time, there presents an issue where you can head glitch the bubble, and you end up with another well.
Dude, I hope they don't allow that to happen, but it will, because just the way the bubble's shaped, there's just no way that it can't. Yeah.
Personally, I just think that it should just be a node in your subclass where you swap between armor and weapons. So that way, if you want to do that, you're at least using 2 supers.
I mean, if they do that for bubble though, then they're gonna have to do that for every subclass. They can't just make a, I don't know.
But there's no other subclass that has 2 different things to swap between on the same super. It's different pathways. You can't change your pathway, still have bubble, but have weapons and no armor.
You can if it's D1.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
Nah, that's it.
Perfect. Go ahead, Sweat.
No, I was just saying I think we're good, man.
Dude, we covered a lot. Today. Yeah. That was really fun, guys. Thank you so much for being here. That was about like 2 hours 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours 50 minutes, 46 minutes. Cool. That was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Seriously, this was kind of an experimental thing. Sweat, thank you for helping me put this together in the first place. We did one before this. I want to quickly say shout out to all of these amazing gamers out here. We're gonna start with Audio Junkie. Maybe not a lot of you know about Audio, but he's one of the fucking smartest dudes, one of the coolest dudes ever, and he's in my clan, which makes him a fucking family member practically, dude. Be sure to check out Audio's Twitch, and just be sure to just let him know that you like what he had to say, man, because he had a lot of really, really good points tonight. I think Audio is one of the coolest people.
Thanks for the kind words, and thanks for having me.
Dude, absolutely. Next, I want to talk about this gamer in the bottom right corner who didn't turn on his light all night. He just wanted us to sit there with fucking terrible lighting.
Yeah.
We got Glad Sucks in the corner, aka FleshCrunch. Dude, thank you so much, man. I haven't really met you before, and you were awesome to have on here, dude.
Honestly, I think it's crazy that you think I game with the lights on, so.
Are you gaming?
I could be right now. You don't know.
Oh my god. That's just what gamers do, man.
I'm playing Snake on the side, dude.
Oh god.
Yeah, but Flesh, dude, thank you so much for being
here.
Yeah. Glad. Do I even need to say anything else? Also short for Glad He Ate Horror. Yep.
Glad He Ate Horror?
Yep. No, Gladiator, Glad, the fucking pacifier hat, the green nipple hat, the grandma hat, whatever you want to say, Captain Keto.
Captain Keto. That's new. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on here, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for all the stuff you do for the community. And Sweat did. What do I even have to say? We got to get you back on those berry and bows. You got to be back out there cooking.
You will not catch me in the Green City ever again. Fuck that.
Dude, what else do we have to say about Sweat, man? Be sure, guys, to check out all of their channels, man. These guys are fucking insane. If you know who I am, you definitely know who all these guys are. But yeah, guys, thank you so much again. And if you guys want to do another one, I am definitely down. This is more of a test for me. So I don't know. We might get different gamers, but every once in a while. But if you guys are down to do another one, I'd love to do one of these in the future again, man. But yeah.
Oh, show.
I'm always down, man.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. That is it for this, and I will be posting the full thing on YouTube. And yeah, have a good night, guys. Peace.